So, session 100. Here we are. Good job, guys. You've all lived safe and sound through 100 sessions of Renascence.
No, 99. We have to get through this one for 100.
Up to 100 sessions of Renascence. Last time was sort of the conclusion to your business in Chaser. You guys turned around and dealt with some demons that popped up out of the street sewers and started wreaking havoc. Kicked their ass pretty quickly, pretty easily, efficiently, and I called it a wrap there. that was really all the crazy hairy business you had to deal with. East Alliance was notified of your exploits. You guys had teleported some people to them. You let them know where the base was, where the cultists were hanging out, and they were able to go and kind of raid it. They were able to find a few scraps of documents that got left behind and evidence of a teleportation circle. It looked like whoever had survived your attack had fled the city. You learned a few things about Lost Shrug's operation here. Not a ton, but some. And then the next day, you guys were joined by Aaron and Gerald from the Gatewatch to go talk with Sandy about the trove of Gatewatch power armor, effectively, that you guys had found in Corbel's Cove. And despite some consternation in the party, you guys did come to an agreement to help Sandy in the future with a heist. And in exchange, she was willing to turn over all of the armor, act like she'd never seen it, not report any of it to the Calabayas, and also to help with this cult situation. She offered her services in combating this growing threat. So Erin took off with the armor. She is flying back to Freeport as we speak, while the party and Gerald were able to head back via teleportation circle. And you guys are now back in Freeport. It is currently late morning on the 44th of the month, Karen. You guys were in Freeport for less than a week, and you guys got a lot done. Now you're home.
Chaser.
And Chaser, yeah, excuse me. I'm mixing them up really bad. So, being back in Freeport, are there any questions before we get started?
That's not the top of my head.
All right. Well, being that you are back in Freeport, without any pressing business right at the moment, where's the party headed? What are you guys doing? What are you thinking?
It is technically, didn't we were in Freeport while Lauren was doing her dream on Masharag the whole day, right?
That's right. You guys did wrap up some business in
the
Freeport.
Evening.
Yeah. I guess. Oh, okay. It would be the 44th would be the next day then. You guys got back to Freeport on the 43rd. Or no. No, I guess 45th then. Excuse me. Fast forward a day. If you guys did not have any business further that day, finish a long rest and pick up on the 45th.
Okay.
Don't think so.
Okay. So, it is morning. You guys would be up, back in the Presidium, able to get some breakfast, touch base, make a plan. What do you want to do?
Well, I would request that Burberry prepare Zone of Truth today, since we probably have to go talk to Flames of Passion.
All right.
See what we can get out of him.
I will do the thing as requested.
Okay.
Very appreciated.
I think Aloran would stop by the Green Keep to try to make a meeting with, like, the numero uno.
Okay. Would you want to do that before or after you guys went after Flame of Passion?
It depends on if he's available or not.
Okay, well, you guys would be in the Presidium at the moment.
I think
So
she's saying if
who-
she can get the meeting today.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know if I'd be able to get it today or not.
That's fair.
So she would stop by to see if she could talk to him.
Okay.
Because if they headed towards the prison, Aloran could fly there and catch up pretty fucking easily.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if that's what you want to do then. I would say with the three of you heading in that direction. Barnaby, John, anything from you guys? Plans or errands for the day?
I don't think I ever did get Bark back up and running, so I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Okay. Fair
I'm
enough.
going to get him a little flamethrower mouth
Oh, shit.
instead of the little blast thing.
Sounds like a plan. I think that will probably only take you about an hour, considering your capabilities in the art of artifice. So you'll still have the rest of your day after that, but we can figure that out.
Yeah.
For the three of you, Aloran, Barnaby, Burberry, and Noel, you guys would pass the Green Keep on your way to the kind of prison wharf. Aloran could detour into the keep while you two kept going. And Aloran, I think you would find there is definitely a buzz of activity here. The Green Keep is usually pretty busy during the day, but I think that you would see there is kind of a different variety of activity at work here. There seems to be a lot more young wardens kind of gathered in the yard, in the courtyards surrounding the keep. Kind of, it almost looks like drilling in formation, right?
If someone's like standing to the side, I'll ask them like what's going on.
Yeah, and I think this young-ish warden, probably like a young dwarf lady, probably just kind of absently, she's like, "Oh, did you not hear? There's the whole hubbub. A few days back, somebody really took it to the conservators, made a big scene. Everybody was talking about it, and
I feel like Aloran's like,
yeah, got a lot of people talking.
what are they saying about that? Hmm?
Oh, I mean, are you back in town? Have you been out of the loop? You heard what happened with the arraignment, right?
Oh, I was there for that.
Oh, okay, so you know, yeah, no, I mean, these fucking pirates, man, like, they're trying to take down the entire East Alliance. People don't want to stand for that, you know?
Mm-hmm. What's the Green Wardens doing, though?
Oh, no, the conservators are all like, no, don't do this, this is a bad idea, stop that, but, man, fuck them. What's the point of all this training they put us through if we're not going to do anything with it? We're just waiting for something bad to happen. Fucking stupid, if you ask me. Half-orc guy kind of walks up beside her, kind of crosses his arms, watching everybody, kind of in formation.
I feel like Aloran would ask specifically, like, what was said about that, the yelling at the conservators. She's just genuinely curious.
What was said about it?
Yeah, or like, yeah, something like that. I think she's just curious, like.
I mean, he'd just kind of shrug and he'd say, I mean, not everybody heard it, but, you know, from what people were saying, you know, it was a pretty pretty impassioned call out. Made some pretty salient points, and I think a lot of people, really rang true for a lot of us. And
That's good to know.
the
Do they know who it was?
yeah, no, they're saying it was that warden that set up the second expedition, late last year.
Oh, so interesting.
Sips tea.
Lauren's loving this gossip about herself. She's trying to get as much from these people as possible. She's like, "Oh, this is so interesting. Please do tell more."
Okay. I think you're talking to these guys for a couple more minutes before the half orc. He does finally like kind of glance over to you and he's like, well, I mean, she was a trade. And kind of realizes like, oh
No, all Tritons don't know each other.
oh, that's you. And he like fucking the dwarf on the shoulder, and she's like, what? And he's like, that's a lord. And the dwarf woman looks up at you and like, oh my god.
Hi there. How are you? Sorry, I just never been the point of gossip before. This is interesting. I was curious.
It's like, was that entertaining for you then? She's
Yeah.
kind of laughing a little bit.
It was quite.
The half orc's just like shaking his head, just kind of chuckling. Yeah, conservators are all up in a tizzy about you. Heads up.
It's okay. I kind of figured as much. Especially what's his fuckface's name?
Fucking cows.
There it is.
Yeah.
That fuckface.
I don't know how he got that fucking seat, but
It's okay. I yelled at him privately afterwards too.
oh, we heard. Do you really call him a little bitch?
Yep. It's because he is a little bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry. I hate him. Anyways, well, I'm gonna go find what's his
Are you still in it? I mean, they haven't kicked you out yet.
Nope.
They really don't know what the fuck to do right now, do they?
They don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing.
And I don't think anybody does at this point. But listen, we're behind you. He'll offer you a little fist bump. It's like, let it not be said, the wardens of the Emerald Coast let their people fucking eat shit and die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fortunately, I do.
So, what are you doing?
I'm gonna go find. I'll go inside the Green Keep. I want to see what happens.
Sure. I would say going inside. The keep is actually quieter than usual. A lot less people kind of wandering around than you remember. There's a handful of folks, that are going about their daily business still. Kind of senior wardens, some of the overseers. Very different tone inside, and I think they catch sight of you and definitely kind of like, oh, and just keep walking. Much more tense.
Cool. Is Alexia around?
One of them just shakes their head and just keeps walking.
Fuck. I'll go try to find like the head honcho.
Okay. I think poking around, it wouldn't take long for you to find them. Conservators and the steward are assembled in their meeting hall, as per usual about this time of day.
I feel like she'll peek her head and be like, I'll wait.
Yeah. The conversation in there is a little heated. They are currently in the midst of kind of a debate on what to do with Alexi. at the moment.
Oh, she is totally snooping on that bitch.
It's a question of, do we maintain the suspension indefinitely, or do we get him reinstated to try and reassert, some modicum of control and leadership amongst the lower ranks, who are now just basically an open rebellion, and not really sticking to the program that the conservators are trying to establish here. And Kaus is obviously a pretty fervent advocate for maintaining the suspension. But there's a lot of back and forth between the other heads. And there are clearly some who seem like they could be swayed, one way or the other. It's not going anywhere fast, though.
Did they see her peek her head in? Just like,
You gotta roll a stealth check.
nah, she'll just peek her head in. She doesn't really care.
I think the conservator would probably, because he's like directly across from the door. The conservator would probably notice, and he would probably make eye contact, but he wouldn't say anything and would continue to just kind of monitor the conversation.
I think she'll point at him and say,
Very subtly, you see this just kind of deep breath and just nod.
I'll close the door and walk away.
Okay. So, back out on the street, Noel, Burberry, you guys would be making for the East Alliance sort of prison wharf, getting yourself a ship to Yamadazath, and crossing the harbor over the course of the next half hour or so. I think you guys are probably about halfway across when you would see a very large eagle kind of sailing overhead towards the island. There would definitely be kind of a flurry of activity beneath you, Aloran, as you are approaching. You would see guards kind of like rushing out of kind of the outlying village, living quarters. Kind of very hurriedly putting on our, helmets and readying crossbows.
To shoot her down.
And I think that you would definitely receive a message as you got close. Some wizard amongst their ranks would have sent a message up to you saying, if you are here on official business, please announce yourself. Otherwise, you are in restricted airspace, and we will shoot you down.
My name's Lauren, and I'm here to talk to Flame of Passion, the prisoner we gave y'all recently.
Okay. And as you're landing, you're getting shouts from a few of them, just like, "Who are you? Who is it? Announce yourself." And the wizard's kind of calling out. It's like, they are claiming that they're Lord. Please, if you are, reveal yourself. All of them kind of like, weapons at the ready, magic in hand, watching and just waiting for you to make some
Real
move.
bad. Laura wants to fuck with them a little bit, but I guess she won't.
I feel like every time you do this, you get hurt.
I feel like she just sits there as an eagle for a second, and she's just kind of like blinking, looking at everybody, pointing weapons at her, and she'll do like a shrug, and then she'll like go back to a lord.
Back to yourself.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So there's a few people among their number who are like, oh, okay, yeah, that's her. And like you see some of them relax, but there's a few of them who are still just like, no, there's protocol here. Like they're holding their weapons up still. And you'll hear the mage again call out. It's like, could you please identify yourself, Aloran?
Oh my god, my name's Aloran. I'm here to talk to Flame of Passion.
Do you have anything to verify this identity? Move slowly.
Oh, are you fucking serious? What's the fucking shit we were saying? Gumbo? Does that ring a fucking bell?
There's a handful among them. And there's like, oh yeah, nah, I remember Gumbo.
I remember the days of
I
Gumbo.
remember the Gumbo password. Yeah, you'll see a couple of them kind of break off and like just completely lower their weapons, look over the mage like, no, it's good, she's good. And the mage is just like, there's some conversation amongst them, and as this is happening, Noelle and Burberry's ship will kind of pull into the dock, and they'll begin kind of making their way up towards
Will you
this
please not
gate.
shoot Noelle and Burberry as they get off the ship?
They are walking with an escort of Yamadazath guards.
Hey,
Burberry,
Lauren.
Noelle, can you tell them I'm not here to kill them all?
She's probably real.
Noelle!
She'll only kill you if she finds it funny at the moment.
Accurate. Please don't shoot me. I will get very unhappy.
The mage in their number will just kind of sigh. It's just like, I'm sorry, but you've got to understand, this has become a very, very contentious place in Freeport since the arraignment. I mean, we're expecting some escape or breakout attempts any day. Can't be too careful. And, there's some conversation with the guards that escorted Noelle and Burberry. I was like, did you verify their identities? And like, yes, they have the medals. It's just, we're very confident it's
would this
them.
help? And she'll pull out her 2 little medals.
Thank you. Yes, that would also help.
I could have just made like a little image and it could be fake.
The mage is going to walk over and like snatch it out of your hand and like, okay, here, take it. There's some more conversations that kind of corroborate what's happening, and they're like, okay, so we're going to take you in, and we'll arrange for a meeting with Flame of Passion. He got in yesterday. He should be processed in his cell already, so shouldn't require much more precaution than the last time you were here.
Perfect.
I have a question. Can we use magic while we're here?
That's a good question.
They kind of look at each other and they say, we do have one interrogation room that you could use for this purpose. Are you
Can you send him there?
certain that you can handle? If anything happens, I mean,
You wound me.
this is our job, okay? We have to make sure that we're not just sending people to
guards.
die.
We literally brought him into custody while being attacked by like 30 people. I think
Okay,
we're
I'll stop
gonna be
asking. Fuck it, I'll stop
think-
asking. Let's go.
okay,
Open
man.
the gate! He's like calling up to the gate guards, and
I'm just
you'll
running
hear
away.
the heavy machinery kind of opening this iron door in the gate wall, and as you guys step through, you see the familiar kind of just like dark shadow encrusted shape of this fortress. And as you step inside, approaching it, you feel that familiar sensation of your heads beginning to swim, your vision clouding over, and you are guided again by the hands on your shoulders of the guards around you until you guys reach what feels like a relatively large, spacious chamber, and you feel a sort of a metallic object being thrust into each of your hands, and at that point your vision begins to clear, and you are once more sitting in that sort of office / break room space deep in the fortress. No windows, very minimal light, and a handful of doors, kind of along one wall. You're standing in front of a new one on the far left of the chamber versus the one you entered last time on the far right. And they'll say, well, if you guys want to head inside, he'll be brought to you in a few minutes. And
Perfect. Thank you very much.
of course.
Thank you. Do you think I made them mad?
Oh, they're just trying to do their jobs.
Did I make it difficult for them?
Maybe a little
Weren't you
bit.
trying to?
Good.
I think it was still in the realm of funny.
God damn.
They were gonna shoot her. She was a little pissy about that. She's like,
You could have been
I-
fucking anybody.
I certainly appreciate that they're taking things more seriously now after the arraignment.
that's true. That's true.
And to be fair, Lauren, don't you remember the last time that you thought somebody was following you familiar?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I was a big-ass bird, not a tiny bird.
And I believe that familiars come in more fun form than tiny ass bird, Lauren.
A giant eagle? A giant eagle familiar?
That would be
Make sure
cool.
that would be cool.
I feel like Burberry just goes bark.
Bark is
He can
small
be anything.
dog. He's
Not that
clearly wooden.
You're only emphasizing that they can be anything part of it.
Giant eagle, flesh and all.
Well, they wouldn't know that until they shot you. Maybe it's an illusory eagle.
They shoot her a bunch of wood splinters off.
Or maybe it's not you.
We knew it! So while you guys are kind of talking amongst yourselves, you will see the door on the far side of this interrogation room open, and escorted by a pair of guards, cuffed, gagged, and blindfolded, Flame of Passion, wearing far less resplendent clothing than he was last time you saw him. He's now wearing these, very gaudy, black and white striped, kind of ragged tunic and pants. He's just kind of thrust down into this chair. His chains are yanked forward and clipped to this large metal fastener in the middle of the table. And he's just kind of forced, leaning forward, hands upturned. And the guards will turn to you and say, anything else, or do you require the room to yourselves?
To ourselves.
We'll be right outside. And they will step out the way they came, and you will hear that as that door locks behind them. And it is now just the three of you and this big, angry prison cat.
Still gagged.
He is currently gagged and blindfolded, and his wrists are bound.
Okay. I'll go take a gag out of his mouth.
Yeah, keep the blindfold on, though.
Hairball.
Do you say that? Please tell me you say that. Cat got your tongue? Uh-huh. 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 No? Okay.
Who is this?
Flames of Passion. This is the Lost Emeralds. The last time I saw you, you were being stuffed into a bag of holding. It's nice to actually meet you.
By me.
I take it then I have you to thank for the destruction of our chaser cell.
Yes,
You're quite welcome.
you're very welcome.
You just see the nose crinkle, the teeth baring as his lips kind of curl back.
Well, luckily for you, we are not here to just taunt you. We actually need a lot of information from you. Trust that you know a few things about the Leviathan and the cult and all the goings-on that we would love to have.
What makes you think I know anything of the sort?
I feel like Lauren's like, we're not stupid.
And I am. You expect me to just turn over everything I know because you asked?
And again, he's looking up at where he presumes you're standing, kind of off to your left.
I feel like Lauren's just like, I mean, it would make things so much easier.
It really would. That would speed things up substantially, but if you prefer, we could just use magic to get it out of you.
So we're getting it either way. Up to you by what means.
He just kind of sneers and says,
I'd like to see you try.
Not gonna see much with that blindfold on.
That's a good one.
again, the grimace, the wrinkled nose.
Burberry, would you like to start us off?
Burberry will just go ahead and start casting Zone of Truth.
All right. So it's charisma saving throw.
I will use unsettling words on this.
All right.
Charisma, yeah.
All right.
Got a 15.
How much are you subtracting with unsettling words?
9.
So that's a 0. Yeah, Burberry,
Is anybody else in the party choosing to try and fight and or fail
Oh.
this?
I'll fight it
I'll fight
so I
it
can
too.
fly. It's a charisma saving throw.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's becoming relevant for once. 25.
Oh
I
shit.
failed.
Well,
Okay.
Lauren can't lie.
Burberry's not gonna try.
Okay.
But Burberry's
So-
not really planning on talking, so that's probably not gonna be a problem.
Fair enough.
I think Lauren's just asking him during this process, like, so how's your cell? Are you finding it cozy?
No.
Aw. Can you see, like, outside, or is it just, like,
No.
gross? Are you having a good day?
What do you think?
Yes. You now have company. It just had to get better, right?
Do you really think he was having a good day?
No.
You wouldn't
Lauren's
be able to say
being a sarcastic bitch.
Nope, doesn't matter.
You can't be sarcastic in the
sarcastic.
zone of truth,
Oh, I
ma'am.
can't? Well,
Nope.
That's a lie.
Oh.
You're like, oh, I thought you were having a terrible. What the fuck?
You terrible
You're
time.
like trying to have a sarcasm.
Oh, I don't like
moment.
this. I don't like this at all.
Ugh.
Ugh. What's your favorite color?
Has to be the truth.
Is it gold? Like your fancy
I bet
little
it's
robe?
red like fire.
Mmm. Is he so flaming and passionate?
Burberry's just gonna whisper, "Am I really using Zone of Truth?"
Yes.
He's not answering.
What a bore.
You just see the tail flicking behind him, irritatedly.
Okay. Well, I'll start by just asking you, because here's another chance for you to actually tell us some stuff, so we don't have to go through the trouble of forcing you to. Why were you kidnapping all of those people? Where are you sending them?
I did as my master bid me. I sent them where he bid me. That is as much as you need to know.
I
Hey,
disagree.
that's not lying.
You are gonna make this hard on us, aren't you?
Do I have any incentive to do otherwise?
Well-
What would make you speak more freely?
What did you
He
say?
said pass.
He says pass.
No. Come on. What would it be?
He doesn't answer. You want to see the tail kind of flicking erratically behind him, as though he's thinking.
To be clear, he's not answering what could we do to make him talk.
Yes.
Okay, well, I have one thought. There is a lot of stuff on the line, Flames of Passion. Even if your leader didn't tell you all the details, I'm sure you're aware that there's a lot of lives at stake here. And a very dangerous future ahead of all of us. So, you continue to be a problem, be a thorn in our side. We have much more intense ways of getting information out of you. And as I say that, I'm going to lift the blindfold, and Noel looks like Lasharog.
Okay.
It would be very easy to get information out of you once you're dead. It's so much easier to trick a corpse. And I'll put the blindfold back down.
Dope. Lauren's like giddy, like, ooh, this is fun.
I'll say give me an intimidation check.
Oh, it's a good roll. 25.
Dang.
Okay. There was a moment where, as the blindfold was coming up, you saw the mouth open, and he was beginning to say something. But then catching sight of you as Lashrog for that split second, he kind of froze mid-incantation. And in that time, having replaced the blindfold, finish your sentence, you see his demeanor shift. The snarl does kind of disappear from the face, and he does kind of pull back into himself. You see the tail kind of flicking. And he is definitely thinking over the potential outcomes here.
There's still a few ways this could go. You either betray Lasharog voluntarily, or you betray him incidentally. Either way, it doesn't matter to us. It's just a matter of time.
After a minute or so, he finally does speak up again, and he does say, somewhat shakily,
I pledged my life and my soul to see the Leviathan rise once more. To knowingly betray that cause would be to betray everything I've set my life to thus far.
But you did say, you didn't answer us when we asked you what you would. Sorry.
What would get you to talk?
Exactly. So there is something that would get you to talk. So that is not entirely true.
he does not respond to that. But I think what he will say next is,
What I am given to understand is that I have to weigh the potential value you might derive from interrogating my corpse against what you might learn while I still draw breath. Is that inaccurate?
I mean, if what we learn from you while you're alive isn't satisfying, we'll just kill you and ask your corpse. Is that inaccurate?
The only thing that you're holding back by voluntarily choosing death There's a few extra spells we have to cast. A minor inconvenience. Is that worth dying for?
I think what he says here is, and again, it's shaky. You know, he definitely seems on edge about this. But being that he is in the zone of truth, he's compelled to speak truthfully. And I think he would say, the damage I could do to the work my master has done, to the world he hopes to build, it would be unconscionable for me to betray him. His wrath in the next life would be all-consuming.
Yes, we can, Cat. I'm just trying to intimidate the fuck out of him.
Oh yeah, I thought that might be the case, but it's one of the, I feel like Burberry would be whispering this because he's like, I don't want to undercut what you're trying to do. Like,
there's just like messages in your ear over this conversation from under the
You're
cloak.
not really going to murder him.
Right here?
now?
You might get in trouble. Seeing that he's
No,
like... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's more of the like I don't want Burberry didn't want to disrupt the flow of things by like again like devaluating the threats that you're making on the off chance that just threats.
Sure.
By going, hey, can we do this first?
I would say with that 25 intimidation, I think you would definitely glean, and I think you got the passive insight in the room to put this together. You know, he is definitely devoted to the cause, more so than the Dragonborn you love potioned.
Yeah.
Should have saved it for
I've only
this.
thought that his name fits perfectly.
I know.
He does, however, seem to be genuinely afraid of Lasharog's retaliation. Should he betray him?
What I think Alorn will ask, like, what is this new world? Like, I've heard it so many times, but there's no sustenance to it. Besides, it's a new world order. Like, what does that even mean?
The non-believers will be purged from the earth, and the faithful will inherit it.
You do know that probably means everyone's going to die, including you and everybody else.
We have devoted ourselves entirely to seeing the Leviathan return to its rightful place. It will reward us for our service.
Unlikely, but okay.
Here's a question you could probably answer. Do you know Ferris?
Who?
Guess he wasn't as big of a deal as we thought he was. He was Lashrog's, you'd say, right-hand man on Daggermore. Very important figure.
The little Triton boy.
Exactly. So you are familiar with him?
It does ring a bell.
You know what happened to him?
No. I I had not served on Lashrog's warship in some time. Last I saw him, he was still swabbing decks.
Hmm. Well, he got captured by us. And he's here, in Yamadazath, with you.
Is he now?
Yes. And you know what Lashrog thinks about that? Nothing. He doesn't care. Now that you're useless to him, he doesn't care. Your devotion is misplaced and misguided, and whatever sweet nothings he whispers to you in your dreams doesn't matter anymore. You think that the Leviathan's gonna stop and break you out of prison? This place is just gonna be crushed. Your life's over, regardless of whether you're devoted or not.
And if you think he would hunt you down when you're dead because he cares about you that much, you're mistaken.
The last time Lashrog will ever think about you is when he hears your name in the report of who got captured.
And that just means you're worthless to him now.
I'll say Noel. Go ahead and make a deception check. Or persuasion, I guess. Depending on how you feel about what you're saying.
I think it's 100% true, so...
I do too. Is there advantage since I was...
Yes, I was
helping?
going to say. Advantage from Alarn.
Natural 20 on the first roll.
Yo!
33!
I think you would hear the voice of Flame begin to falter somewhat, although he is still attempting to put up a front for sure.
I feel like I could continue with that a little bit too and be like, I've spoken to Lashrog. I've asked him about Varys. He doesn't care at all about him. He said he served his purpose, and that was it. He has there's nothing else for him now.
I think what Flame would be saying, and again, it's faltering. His words are starting to kind of catch in his throat a little bit.
I pledged my soul, my entire being, to the Leviathan, to the New Order. Lashrog would not leave us to simply...
What?
to simply...
And you can tell he's genuinely struggling to get this thought out. I think Burberry, maintaining Zone of Truth, I think you would actually feel this spell almost choking back his words as his faith is beginning to waver.
He can't say it because he knows it's true.
Could I follow up with that whole little Varys snippet? Just be like, I've spoken to him. He doesn't care about Varys anymore. And Varys is just as devoted to him as you are. And verbatim, what he said to me is that he served his purpose. He's not coming for him. He's not going to free you. This is the end of that path.
But perhaps the start of a different one.
Exactly.
Different how?
And his voice is full on, like, trembling at this point.
Well, I guess that's up to you to decide ultimately. Every one of us had very different paths in our life. Never thought I'd be in a prison interrogating a cultist, but here we are. And there's a lot of ways things can go. And I can't tell you where that's going to lead, but you're at a crossroads.
The tabaxi in the chair across from you is his whole body language has shifted since the beginning of this conversation. Like he is crestfallen, slumped shoulders, head hanging. You know, it is a complete 180 from the posture he had stepping into this room. And at this point, like the tail's gone still on the floor behind him, and he is just kind of quietly sitting, seemingly trapped in his ruminations.
Take off his blindfold. I'm Noel again. So what'll it be?
If I do this, and you fail, death will not be the end for me.
Well, we'll be there, right there with you, buddy.
I do not think La Shirog will give any of you any more thought once you have left this world. He is very eager to see you all dead.
His eyes shoot over to Aloran. You particularly.
Really? She's just
So
like,
flattering.
Oh, I feel so flattered.
I need that meme of that guy with like puts the hand on the chest like me.
That's like 100% what she does. She's like, me? Why does he want me dead so much?
I'm
Probably the dreams.
not sure exactly. But he has made a point in his briefings. If any are to be prioritized, it is to be the Triton.
It's because I'm too hot.
You see the brows just kind of furrow, like, really?
No, it's because I torment him in his dreams like he does to me, probably, so.
What's fucked up is you're still in the zone of truth, so that was... If
Nothing-
you were able to say that, you genuinely thought it to some extent.
Yeah.
And I
No.
think that's part of where his confusion is coming from, like, seriously?
Hey, he really likes to point out that I'm half naked, because I think it bothers him a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
He did describe you as such.
See?
There it is.
There it is. Temptation. He doesn't like it.
As weird as it sounds, the fact that La Shirog wants us dead so badly should be a weird bit of solace to you. Because it means that our chances aren't zero of stopping him.
He knows that we could.
Perhaps. You may be able to stop him. And he may fear that he may not live to see the Leviathan come. But I do not know if you will stop the Leviathan. That is a power even beyond his. Older and greater.
Well, to be honest, we've been kind of taking this one step at a time. First things Lasherhawk.
He's just kind of sadly, slowly nodding. Eyes a little bit watery, a little red. Got those like the little doggy tear stains kind of forming in the creases of his eye.
Aw, now I feel kind of bad for him.
I don't. But
Fair enough.
I'll also add, like I said, you are at a crossroads, and every little thing you can give us helps you on a new path. I think that these days we do have a lot of sway with the Eastern Alliance. One path leads to your ending, and the other maybe leads to a different life. Not a short road, but maybe still a life. What was that? Sorry.
Perhaps.
So,
I would love to ask why you were abducting people that can craft
yeah,
magic items.
let's try that question again.
I feel like this is really good music for this.
I feel
scene.
like we're kind of killing it here right now.
Lasharag was very displeased with the destruction of his capital ship, the Kiris.
Mm.
It was imperative that we attempt to recoup what we could in the wake of its loss. So,
Enchanting a new ship.
potentially. I don't know exactly what he is putting the artificers to work on. I only know that over the past 20 days or so since the arraignments, he has been in regular contacts, organizing abductions and transportation across various cells in the region.
Is that happening in Freeport as well?
I wouldn't know. The cells are not in direct communication with one another. We all communicate only with Lasharog.
Well, that's
He
smart of him.
says it is a security measure intended to maintain as much capacity of the cult as possible in case one cell is compromised.
Mm.
I do not know the locations of these captives' destination. I only know the sigil.
If we were to unbind your hands, would you be willing to draw us these sigils in a smaller form?
What do you intend to do with them?
Learn them. Figure out where they go. Maybe pop by and say hello to Lasharog. Say surprise. Be your favorite Triton ever.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. He would only have the sigil to Site B then, correct?
I have sent captives to at least 15 other sites.
Oh. You know quite a bit then.
I do.
Well, you wish to play nice. I get you some paper and a pencil. Or we could ask a few other questions first if you want to think about it.
If I do this, I have committed the most base treachery I can against the cult. As I said, my soul has been dedicated to the Leviathan. There may well be no coming back from this.
I haven't really said much in this conversation, but there's always coming back terrible decisions. I, too, have in the past dedicated myself to something that was, let's say, not as returning of the favor. But I stand before you now, I maybe not a better man, but definitely a different one.
But you are still standing.
As are you.
For now.
Proverbially.
Oh, metaphorically.
And actually, if it's all right with you, perhaps after we're done, I can talk to you for a bit. There's not much else to do in here.
I suppose there isn't.
Cool.
What else do you want to know?
Well, what's the red light?
Is it like a portal?
We've got our
thing?
guesses, but we don't know for sure.
To the best of my understanding, it is an opening, a gateway for the Leviathan to enter our realm.
Well, it's not fully open yet.
The Leviathan is, as its name would suggest, a great and terrible being. You cannot simply conjure one with a cheap trick.
What about all the lights we've seen across the coast, or inland from the coastline?
As I understand, they are the remnants of a people that once worshipped the same being. Their ruins are resonating with the opening of the gate.
That's interesting.
So they're not all portals, there's just the one portal?
As I understand. I will confess to you now, I am not quite so versed in the history of our master as Lasharog is. He has dedicated the greater part of his life to its study.
Well, I would only expect as much. As I told you at the start of this, we only want what you can share. What kind of timetable is Lasharog working on? We have guesses, but we, again, don't know exactly.
Well, I heard him say that it was at the end of the summer. Was when the portal was going to be open.
Yes, we have, that's our estimate, but we don't know for sure.
Fair.
I was given to understand that the portal would be fully opened by the solstice, but perhaps I misheard.
The solstice?
I would not blame Lashrog for hedging his bets in case it was outside of even his control.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Solstice is that further from our estimate or closer?
That would be closer. The summer solstice is the beginning of the summer.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was about to say, the winter solstice or the summer
Yeah,
solstice?
so I was like,
One of those already
like,
passed.
Y'all are past the winter solstice.
I know.
Okay, maybe it was
That
very
was
slow
my
process.
concern.
Okay. That's very useful, actually. Give some things up. Does anyone else have questions? 'Cause I'm trying to think of stuff.
If I might ask, what drew you to the Leviathan cult in the first place?
Well, in the beginning, I was young and ambitious. I hoped to make my fortunes on the high seas and took on with the fiercest captain and betting witch, which at the time was Lashrog. But over time, I grew to learn of his own faith and his conviction that a new world was coming. And seeing what power his faith availed of him, I could not deny it. Reason, I suppose, compelled me.
Here's a small one. What were the bloody black vines in the chamber you guys had?
A failsafe, in case the cistern was breached. A store of fiendish energy.
So, what would have happened if we had touched it?
I imagine it would have burned. We spread a collection of silver, chalk, and salt around the perimeter to keep it off the floor for just such a reason.
Good thing I didn't touch it. You probably would have found me very quickly.
We should assume then that these this vine magic, whatever you call it, is pretty commonplace amongst your groups at this point then.
That I don't know. I learned the technique from Lashrog himself. I cannot speak to the other leaders of the cells. But if they're anything worth their salt, I think it's safer to assume than not.
That's fair. Sorry, I'm trying to think of more questions. The fact that they keep the cults separated from information from each other is a problem.
I mean, it's smart.
It is very
It's
smart.
very smart, yeah. that took away a lot of our questioning
Yeah.
ability. Like, I feel like the really only thing we can learn from it at this point is the...
That's how you organize independently functional terrorist cells.
So, got
Fun
it.
fact.
Look this
Now
up.
we're
DM.
all gonna be on FBI's watch list. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I did research for this, alright?
Yeah, so you're on...
So you
Definitely.
are definitely on watch.
I've been on watch lists,
How do
okay?
you
This campaign
organize
has
a
put me on so
functional
many lists.
terror cell.
Well, just promise me you added magic in like all of your searches.
Indeed.
I mean-
Indeed.
I mean, they all have 5e at the end of them. That's just a like impulsive habit when I Google anything.
Oh, sure.
Like, How to change a tire, 5e.
Roll dexterity check.
I wish I could say that I haven't done the same thing.
Oh, no.
but I-
Yeah.
I definitely do that.
I do it all the fucking time.
Yeah. I
That-
don't really.
I like somebody who's going through your Google searches sans 5e and is like, wait, how to build a bomb? Okay. How to start a cult? Wait, what? How to start independent terror cells? Back the fuck!
Best high-level spells for leading said cult, 5e. Oh.
Well, might as well cover our bases. Did you ever meet anyone else of import when you were more directly working with Lasharok?
Well, given your reputation, I imagine you've already met and are familiar with Bloodbeard.
Yup.
Correct.
And I am given to understand that Stephen Pythe is no longer among the living.
He is dead. Correct.
Thank the gods.
In which case, his only other major contacts would likely be Vledlin and Zekvil.
And who are they specifically?
Well, in short, other pirates.
I feel like
Vledlin,
Alorn gives him a really sassy look, like, no shit, Sherlock, a pirate? No fucking way. I don't believe you. But she can't say it, but so it's just a lot of sassy face.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, we probably would have had to re-up Zone Truth at this point.
I mean,
It's been like an hour.
he's talking at this point.
Sure.
Vledlin is another arcanist. Independently wealthy and sympathetic to Lasharog's vision. She is his primary contact in Elthori waters. Zekfall, meanwhile, I am given to understand was once a member of the Crimson Guard in Kremlkan. But came to see the light over time in Lasharog's captivity. And since his conversion has proven himself a very valuable contact in Lemor.
Did everybody who all the folks that were in the bunker vanished whenever they returned? Were you the only one that knew how to do the sigils, or did everybody know that?
No, Valcoria was also capable of teleportation.
Out of character, is that the true sight person?
Yep.
Yeah,
that was
that's
the door
person
woman.
we
Okay.
kind of forgot about.
I was actually asking because Brain went, I mean, if he can't tell us, there's still a lot of dead people down there.
Quite possible. Well, in the interest of not dragging this too much longer, do we have anything else coming to mind? I mean, we can pull information from this guy whenever we want, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah. So, I guess for clarification, he just wanted us dead, correct? No other sinister plots in mind?
I mean, we would make very useful sacrifice.
Exactly.
He did say that if possible, capturing you alive and sending you directly to him was preferred.
How would
But
you do that?
I would tell him that we had caught you.
Oh, and
he
then
would
he would
tell
tell
me
you.
where to
Got it.
send you.
Fair enough. I feel
But
like
barring that, killing you was more valuable than holding back for the sake of capture.
Of course.
You were valuable trophies, but dangerous.
It's a good sign for us.
I will try to take it as such.
Well, the more information we have, the more dangerous we are. And at the moment, we have a lot of good information to start with. Do you feel like you could share those sigils with us? And Noelle will just take her personal notebook, slide it across the table, set the feather on it.
He will very, very gingerly take up the pen and, with a deep sigh of impending regret, begin to inscribe sigils on the page. As he finishes, he'll kind of just nudge the paper back in your direction with his fingers, not really able to move them from the shackles.
Sure.
And he will say to you,
Bear in mind that I do not know what lies on the other side of those circles. If you intend to strike them, you will need to bring as much force to bear as you possibly can, and you will need to do so all at once. It will not take them long to figure out that the cells are compromised.
Thank you. Genuinely. This is...
I will
massive.
pray for your success.
And we have very good reason to put in a good word for you now. Well, I'm ready to go. Lauren, if you want to come. Berber, you wanted to speak with him, right?
Yes, please.
Yep, I'll leave so everybody can talk to him. And then I'll ask a guard to bring out somebody else for me to talk to.
Oh boy. Noelle is actually going to go out of her way to tell the guards, like, he was super helpful. And, you know, obviously it's not going to matter till a trial, but just say, like, you know, don't be too hard on him because he was fucking very useful to us.
Yeah, maybe I'll give him like a couple gold and be like, give him a nice meal. Better stuff to sleep in the on.
one of the guards are definitely just kind of like, seriously? This piece of shit? Okay.
But he's talking to us and he could help us further. And if we treat him nice, we'll be more inclined to help.
We tried a lot of different tactics, and this one actually worked.
Yep. Loki, I want Noelle to come with me because I'm going to try this tactic on Varys.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you right now, that nat 20 was kind of what cinched it here. Like, I do not have a way to fucking...
As I said previously, Noelle is completely useless until she's incredibly clutch.
That was very clutch. Cool, so you're going to ask to see Varys now, and Burberry, what are you wanting to talk about with Flame of Passion?
So I actually wanted to trade information about our patrons, because it's from a.
Interesting.
Because you know, Burberry is all about the interesting religions, and even if he doesn't want to practice it, learning about the practices and what sort of prayers and yada yada that he
Learning
did.
about the
So
Leviathan.
he just actually wants the Leviathan pamphlet, basically.
Okay.
And in return, like, he's gonna, so he's gonna do his, like, I'm not gonna say basic story, but he's gonna be, like, pretty sympathetic, because he feels like he's been in that person's shoes. So it's kind of like he's out of character. Trauma bonding is great. In
Sure.
character, like Burberry doesn't want to tell him too much because A, he doesn't want him to find out about what god he left, and B, he's still keeping the two kobolds thing like real close to the vest there.
Sure.
But I think whenever they start the conversation, he's just gonna flat out say,
I'm not gonna worry about trying to zone of truth because you are welcome to lie to me, but I will always tell you the truth.
I
If
have
I'm-
already given you the most terrible secrets I know at this point. I can't imagine I have much else of interest to you.
Possibly not, but being aware that you do have a choice can do wonders.
I'll bear that in mind. So what is it you want to know?
and yeah, you can tell me later. Because actually, knowing the what types of altars, rights, and all that, it might be useful later down the
it
line,
could
but it's
be.
mostly just for interest.
You never know.
Yeah. To summarize, I will say he would be able to tell you that there are not necessarily a lot of like formal, intricate practices around the Leviathan. There's really only two main things at play within the cult. Making offerings and performing a sort of meditative communion with the Leviathan. It is customary for every member of the cult to make, periodic offerings of blood to an idol of the Leviathan or an image of it if an idol is not available.
I have an idol.
You are an idol, Aloran.
Generally, one starts out making offerings of their own blood, and once they have the balls, as he will so eloquently put it, they will move on to offering up the lives of others before the idol. Through these offerings, over time, one can build up a connection to the Leviathan, and in time, begin to forge something resembling a pact. All right.
Does he have a pet?
He does, although he is primarily a studied arcanist. He is still an acolyte in light of La Shirog's deep and all-encompassing connection to this being. The communion practice is largely, focused meditation. It is sitting and directing one's attention towards the Leviathan. And for a long time, especially early on in your practice, without a lot of sacrifices under your belt, you're really just kind of searching. Eventually, though, usually once you have crossed a threshold in terms of how much you've made your offerings, you will eventually latch onto something out there. You will begin to feel its presence. And the way that he describes it is this sensation of being, deep underwater in the pitch black and just feeling through the shifting current around you this absolutely enormous thing out in front of you. Like, you can't see it, can't hear it, can't really, you can't sense it in any other way, but you definitely can feel something out there, and it is such a visceral, palpable sensation. Being in this sort of dark, cold, deep space, the psychic sort of thought space, and feeling something else there.
It makes you realize how small you are in the grand scheme of things, right?
How small everything is.
Burberry just nods and gestures to continue, sorry.
Yeah. In the face of its enormity, all things fail to measure. It is all-consuming.
And I mean, again, by his description, he's never felt, any kind of communion like that from any other being, from a god or from spirits or from fucking anything, So it is definitely a very compelling religious awakening experience this guy's describing to you, and in his, coming to the Leviathan. And obviously he's done all these terrible things, right? There's no denying that, but you could definitely see, kind of the trace of causality there, where it's like, if this was the one divine presence you've ever felt,
I mean,
it's not hard to see how he got to where he is.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah.
Like Burberry's been there. Not quite to that degree, but he's been there.
Yeah. No, I mean, you are familiar with divine presence. You know very intimately what that feels like, and multiple flavors of it. You've communed with many gods.
Delicious. This one tastes like strawberries.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like, okay, yeah. If this was the only thing you ever felt, sure. Doesn't excuse it, but you can see it. You can see the path.
It's I think Burberry would equate it to if you're a peasant standing before a king, like there's just a dominating aura that happens around it, and you feel like if you don't do whatever they tell you to, you're fucked.
But on a cosmic scale.
But right? On a cosmic scale.
Yeah. So, I think that's the gist of what you would get out of him over that conversation. It's not a lot of intricacies, but there is, a surprising amount of detail to his description, I'd say. You can glean something from it.
Then I will share with him the teachings of Bojlig, or the god of adaptability, as well as what practices and what communing with him felt like, as well as Canthor, who is the god of open paths.
Okay.
Something to possibly consider shifting to. That seems like it would be good at this point in his life.
I'll say go ahead and make a religion check. How'd you do?
I really want to use my inspiration.
I think you're probably safe to do it.
Okay, because I rolled a 2.
Oof.
Okay, this dice is going to jail. And of course, whenever I toss it aside, it rolls a 15. Okay, well, you said religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a whopping 12, because I rolled a 6.
Oof. Yeah, I will say at the moment he does not seem 100%.
I want to give myself guidance.
All right.
Listen.
All right. Roll your d4.
I don't have many things, and I haven't done this sort of shit in a while. I need 16.
Oh.
Brings up to 16.
Okay, that's better. He is listening. You're not 100% sure if it's getting all the way through, if he's like internalizing it really and fully processing. There's definitely still a tinge of, defeat to his voice. He still seems pretty preoccupied with the more immediate, situation regarding, his recent betrayal and, what you guys are able to accomplish next, if you'll succeed or not. But I think by the end of it, you do get the sense that he at least seems a little bit more at peace, a little bit calmer, and I think by the time you call for the guards, whenever that is, he will give you a genuine, if quiet and reserved, thank you, and say to you that you've given me much to consider.
If it's all right with you, assuming the world doesn't end, I would love to come and chat with you again.
I will hope you are successful in whatever comes next then. If I don't hear from you, I will assume otherwise.
And if you see a naked Triton in your dreams, I'm sorry.
Half naked. Half naked.
He's just like, what? As he's being led away.
It's just the only way that I can communicate with him.
Sure.
Because this is an antidote.
So, in the next...
Well, I can cast Dream on you, and then you could do it. It doesn't have to be me.
I thought it had to be you. That's my
Nope.
No, she can designate the messenger when she casts Dream. And they have control over the dream space.
So that's fine. I'll just be the naked Triton in his dreams.
Half naked.
Nope, naked now.
Half naked.
Naked Aloran in his dreams.
Palm fronds in front.
And then now he's gonna be like, I get it, Lasharug. I understand.
So, in the next interrogation room over, Noelle and Aloran have taken up seats, and before long, Varys would be brought before you, cuffed
Oh god.
Wait,
and
before
blindfolded.
Varys
and
even gets here,
Okay.
Noelle's just gotta say to Lauren, like, okay, what are we trying to do at this point with him?
Get him to do what just happened with that guy.
That's
Better
gonna,
path.
That's gonna be tough.
Oh, I know. But if there's anyone that can do it, it's you. And I would love your help in trying.
Oh,
That's sweet.
that is very sweet. I really wish I had any idea of how to make it happen, but
Dun, dun. The door would open, and Varys would step
You
through.
won't let us discuss it. What is this bullshit? It takes time to
boy,
get
this time
prisoners.
really flew by.
Wow. Here he is, getting shoved down into the seat in front of you. And the guards are like, inside or out?
Out.
Varys' head whips up at the sound of your voice. Just fucking sneering.
Oh boy.
I need help.
What did you do to him?
I tried talking to him, and he hates me.
He's gagged and blindfolded or just...
Yep.
sitting? Okay. I'll just take off the blindfold and gag.
What the fuck do you want?
Lauren's like,
Okay,
yeah, like, oh god.
I'm noticing some tension in the room.
I thought I heard a Lauren. Is she with you?
I took off...
You are here. I knew you were here. I knew I
He
heard
took
you.
off the blindfold and everything.
Oh, you took off the
Yeah,
blindfold
I
too?
took off
Yeah.
blindfold and gag.
Oh, okay.
I knew I heard you. What the fuck are you doing here?
I came to talk again.
I'm here too.
This is Noelle.
Noel.
Did you ever know me? Oh, you knew Luna.
No, you are an elf. That's right. This is my blunderbuss twin.
Of course. You were the elf.
She's still pretty hot though, so.
Yeah,
Why are you here?
that's a great question.
Talked about it very briefly before the DM interrupted us.
Those guards got you here quick.
Yeah,
Think
man,
fast. Think fast. Let's go. What are you doing?
they really threw you up here.
No. Do you have an idea, Chani?
I'm feeling Laura's gonna be like, Bears, I want to help you. It's really.
Do you?
I do actually.
Then you should call Loshirog and tell him where you are so he can come find you and gut you. And end this.
That would
I
really
spoke
help
with him.
you.
Yeah, you'll still be stuck here.
It would be my idea.
And then Lashirag will come save you.
Is that what you think would happen?
When the time is right.
I think you. I feel like she's like. I think that's how that would go ever.
This old song and dance again.
Okay.
Well, I've spoken with him for 8 hours, literally, last night.
Oh, Lashirag.
Well-
It wouldn't last. Oh, Loshirog.
Yeah, Lost Rod. For 8 hours, he had a terrible time, if you were wondering. Mostly ignored me. But when I did ask about you, he said that you had served your purpose. Like, you're kinda.
Do you really think he would tell you otherwise?
I am a very insightful person, Varys. I can glean a lot out of people. Things that they don't wish me to know. And I unfortunately truly think he is done with you.
So give me a persuasion check.
I
What?
would also
Also,
add.
give me a persuasion check.
I want to add.
Okay.
I would say. It has been a while, Varys. Hell, he attacked Freeport already while you were in here, and made no effort to save you.
You were right. You were so close to him. You don't even realize.
Roll your persuasion, girl.
Okay. Is that with
I helped.
Yeah.
Yay! So the first one was a 9, and the second one was a 19. So that's a
Better.
25.
Okay.
85, pretty good. I mean, Varys scowls, obviously.
I'm
He's
shocked.
gonna, yeah, shocker. He scowls at this and he says to you, why do you think he didn't strike the prison to begin with? This fortress would be too taxing, too demanding of his resources.
I disagree.
I mean, he was willing to throw one of those big worm creatures
At
down-
the city.
Yeah,
He could have
While
directed that.
Bloodbeard was on his way back.
That's true.
But-
Bloodbeard was important. Important
He
enough to
was.
save.
Yes.
And he was out in the open,
Which you.
unwarded, and vulnerable.
Words that he definitely knows, seeing as he casted it on his own ship. He could probably easily have dealt with those.
He's shaking his head, right? And he's saying,
Could have sent the beast to the prison.
That's what I thought. That's
what I thought he was-
I thought he was going to
I thought that
literally
was gonna
blow
happen.
a hole in the wall.
and come in there and scoop you right out. I mean, hell, that's what I would have done if, like, I was trying to get everybody.
You know, someone important to
You know?
me.
Exactly. It's like, well, this person's out. They're going to be having all their forces protecting this guy. That's going to leave the prison was like empty.
And think
There
of
wasn't guards.
Think of all the
there.
havoc that goes on in Freeport if all these criminals are free.
Exactly.
It's no downside.
It's a no-brainer, low-key. Like,
The attack on Freeport was a message to your friends in the Eastern Alliance that their days are numbered.
but we killed it quite easily.
You killed one.
One down.
Only one entire generation of its progeny to go.
So we'll do
I'm
it
sure
again
you'll do fine.
and again. Or maybe we just go right to the source.
By all means. You could probably make contact with your considerable power tonight, if you so choose.
I was actually thinking about it.
I would encourage you to. You might finally understand what exactly it is you're up against.
A pretty good handling on that situation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not super phased by it, truth be told.
Think you know, but you have not seen it. You have not felt its presence.
Well, Lashrog has kind of done that to me already, so... I mean...
Anyone in our group has, it's probably Lauren.
Yeah. He likes to dream me and stuff, you know, so... Likes to show me my inevitable doom. One would call it that.
My inevitable diss.
Does Lashrog still talk to you, Varys? Pretty regularly? Has he reached
Have
out?
you heard from him recently?
I
At
imagine
all?
he has been occupied in the wake of your momentary victory the day of the arraignment.
Oh boy, he hasn't called in a while.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, we've been up to a lot more than that, Varys.
His brow kind of furrows.
What do you mean by that?
Boy, we probably shouldn't tell you that.
Yeah. Should. I don't know if I should tell you that.
I think what we can share is that you're not as alone in here.
You have friends here too.
Fellow Leviathan enthusiasts. Well, maybe ex-Leviathan enthusiasts.
Yeah.
He is definitely looking a little confused. It's like a guard dog. You know? It's like you break into the house and it's like wakes up. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You know, it's just kind of just like not really parsing what it's seeing yet. But it's not a happy expression by any means. He still seems pretty pissed, but definitely confused.
And just like the worms, we took down one. We're gonna keep going. One at a time. Until all the dominoes fall.
It's only a matter of time.
You're fighting against the inevitable.
I don't think so. I
Even
mean,
if you were to slay the entirety of our organization, couldn't stop the Leviathan.
But we could.
You think you can,
Well,
but it is coming.
think about it this way. Lasharog is putting a lot of resources into hunting us down and killing us, or hopefully capturing us. So he clearly sees us as a threat to his plans. Same with the Eastern Alliance. That's why he summons elementals to fuck with us, keep us busy while he keeps doing this, because he knows if we get close, Varys, we could stop him. We could kill him. We could stop everything he's been planning. We're not just mere little insects that he finds repulsive. We are real threats to him and your little cult. So you might say that we don't know what we're doing, but we definitely do. Or else he wouldn't care about us. It would be, oh, if they die, great. No. He's actively hunting us down. He's actively putting resources into ending our lives. That is not someone who isn't afraid of what we can do. That is not what his actions would be.
And boy, does he love to tell us how insignificant our actions are.
It really does. I feel like Lord was laughing at that.
Oh, God.
And that's the truth.
Straight up the truth. That's so funny.
I'll say give me another... I'll say intimidation or persuasion. Your choice.
I'm gonna go persuasion.
I'll give you
With
bardic
advantage.
inspiration.
Ooh, okay, cool.
I'll call that my that will equip my bardic inspiration.
Is that a D8?
D10 now.
Oh, shit!
shit!
No, technically it was all last level 2, it just didn't come up much.
Oh, I rolled it. I rolled 10.
Shit.
Fuck yeah.
That's gonna be a good roll.
That is a good roll. I didn't roll super low because it was a flat 20 plus 10, so 30.
30. Ooh.
A good threshold for people
He
who are very
seems-
stubborn.
He seems a little rattled by that, for sure. The confidence falters a little bit. He kind of just falls still. Like he's still maintaining eye contact, just glaring at you, but the intensity of his expression has faded somewhat, and there's a pause before he speaks again. Quiet. Whatever capacity you may have to disrupt Lashrog's plans, you are nothing to the Leviathan. We are its chosen. We have dedicated our souls to its eternal glory. It is rising, whether you will it or not.
But we know where it's rising from, Varys.
The world knows. And the door's not closed yet, is it?
We'd have to kill Lasharog first, or else he could just go back and reopen it. That'd be tedious.
You spend what time you have left as you see fit.
Think about something, Varys. Lasharog has every reason to make you believe that all of this is enough. because it keeps you complacent and faithful. It's the same song and dance again, of course. I know you don't care. But before the end of the summer, your worldview is going to be shattered. Because there's a lot you don't understand.
Give me one last persuasion roll here.
Could I, before that, to try to help with this advantage situation for Noel?
This motherfucker.
And I feel like Alord would be like, and she's like, I feel like she's like, there's a reason I keep coming here. And it's because there's more value to your life than this. And you could be so much more if you reconsidered some things. Opened your mind to other possibilities.
Well, go ahead and roll.
With advantage?
Yeah.
We got advantage! We did it!
That's just the baseline 23.
33. He is like he's like shaking his head through this last bit of your plea, Lauren. And before you even fully finish the sentence, he's kind of coming out with this kind of cutting, just like, oh, I've never heard that before. Wow, you've really changed my outlook. Are we done here?
You're so insufferable. How did I ever fuck you?
Oh my god.
Barnaby's glad he's not here.
What's the critical thing Lauren has ever said?
The most what?
Hypocritical thing Lauren has ever said. I'm just kidding, she won't say that.
She's thinking it though.
Yep.
Sure. So, is there anything else with Varys at this point?
I feel like a Lauren would just be so frustrated at this point. She'd be like, when it's all over and you've lost, I hope you remember this conversation. And I think that's what she'll say. I don't know.
I'm trying to think, man. This guy's just too far gone.
I know. I'm just like...
We're out of fucking strategies at this point.
Yeah. Maybe it should just be like, so be it.
We'll see who's right in the end, I'm sure.
I feel like this is part of a movie. So later we will see who is right and who is dead.
That's definitely where his head's at, I think.
That is the vibe, PM.
Yeah. I think the guards will collect him in time, and he will be, again, blindfolded, gagged, and let out of the room.
I couldn't find a way to convince him, Lauren.
It's okay. It's probably pointless anyways.
It was maybe worth one last shot.
What was that?
I said it was maybe worth one last shot.
Yeah.
rejoining Burberry in the office space area adjacent to these interrogation rooms. You guys would be led back out of the fortress through the sort of haze of warding enchantments, back through the gates and into open air where your vision would clear, and you would be able to sort of reorient yourselves. Well, did you get what you hoped to out of them? One of the guards will ask.
One of those went really well. The other, not so much.
Good. We could get a schooner to Fort Franco directly if you wanted to make your report there.
That would be wise.
While you do that, I think Lauren's gonna go back to the Green Keep.
Okay, sure. So, flies away. And Burberry Noel, you can make your way to Fort Franco.
If Burberry doesn't want to, they don't have to come, but I welcome their company. As always.
Of course. I have lots of new information.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess you don't look, I don't see your face, but you have been acting, you have a pep in your step, Burberry, after that. Did things go well with Flames of Passion after we left?
Yes, I learned all sorts of things about the cult. Well, about the religion of the cult, not about the...
Right. I should have guessed that was what you were doing.
I like the idea that Noel looks like super excited for like a half a second, but thinks.
All the religious details. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, human sacrifice. Oh, yes. Fascinating.
And they stab across the belly. Fascinating stuff.
Here's the kicker. They don't care how you stab. They just want it big and bloody.
So, I think this would be a good place
regales
to...
me, yeah.
yeah, I think as you guys are kind of splitting up again, we can take our break here.
Yep.
Be back at 10:30 your time.
Okay. Go on.
And yeah, pick up after that.
Go on a break. We are back.
Sure. Okay. So, picking back up, Noel and Burberry are heading for Fort Franco. Aloran is heading for the Green Keep again. Looking to touch base with the wardens. Does anybody want to go first?
I don't feel like my scene would be terribly long.
Okay.
I don't even know if there's a scene. I would tell them everything we just did, basically.
Okay, yeah. And I assume that includes the sigils, right?
Yep, 100% let them copy them down.
Yep.
Explain to them that...
I think one of the best people to give the sigils to would be Alexi.
Yeah, I mean, I assume they're going to pass them out to everybody of high rank at this point.
Yeah.
And let them know the context of everything we learned about how they work, where they go, what they're doing, who they're kidnapping, who they're targeting, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think the fact that you were able to procure these sigils would probably warrant I guess Lugo would probably be your contact for this, since he is kind of like the intelligence agent.
Okay.
Interfacing with the Lost Emeralds. He would probably, hearing all this and seeing what you brought him, would want to take that straight to the Admiral, right? Yeah.
That's who I would also wish to talk to, probably.
Yes. So he would definitely bring you to Admiral Drumfaithril, the bronze dragonborn woman.
Mm-hmm.
You tell you to just repeat everything you just told him. Show her the teleportation sigils, and she would pretty quickly echo the same sentiment that Flame shared before you left him. That if we're gonna do this, we're gonna have to hit him hard and fast. We're only gonna get one shot at this.
It's gonna require a lot of planning. Not something to jump into for sure. We'll be careful.
Do you guys want in on this?
Yes.
Probably. I'm thinking back to what Lauren would say, and she would probably say yes.
With a little lilt in her voice.
I think further research and understanding of what these sigils, where these exactly go, would be great. But on principle, probably yes.
All right. Well, I don't expect we'll be moving on this immediately, but the sooner the better, obviously. We don't want to be lingering with this intelligence long enough for any infiltrators in our ranks to catch wind of it.
Of course.
So, we've got some sendings to send out.
I would also directly, what's her name? The Admiral.
Yeah, Drumfithril.
Drumfithril. I know she wouldn't necessarily be the person to tell this to, but I would advocate and say that this should be a consideration in Flames of Passion's trial.
I can make sure that reaches the proper people. Absolutely.
Good. Despite his reticence at first, this is maybe one of the best pieces of intel we've ever gotten.
I'm inclined to agree. So, I know we do not have the manpower at Fort Franco to do this, but the Alliance can certainly coordinate across multiple bases to make this happen. So, I will be in touch with some of my immediate subordinates. We'll start putting teams together. How soon do you think the Lost Emeralds can be ready?
Well, we're not doing anything right now, but...
Oh, I would actually like to stop by the sanctuary first, so I'd need at least an hour, I'd say.
I don't think we'll be ready within an hour. You're fine.
I get the sense they are talking about days or weeks.
Alright.
Probably. It's hard to say. We just got off a chaser. Like I said, we are open right now, but sometimes we get sucked into stuff. So I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see.
As soon as you know, please let us know.
Yeah.
Good. All right, Lugo, go get some cinders. We need to get word out. And they're going to thank you very quickly and immediately get to work on this. She is going to pocket that shit. She's going to put that shit in her coat. She's holding on to those sigils herself.
Sure.
So, yeah, they are ready to move. Big play.
Yes.
So, Lauren at the key. What are you doing?
Are they still in their meeting?
I would say after a couple of hours, probably like an hour and a half that you spent at Ibanezeth. Probably. I think it's still morning. It's approaching noon, give or take an hour. I think you might be waiting a minute before you would see any activity in that doorway, right, as people begin to leave. So if you're wanting to wait, that's an option. You can.
Yeah, I can wait. Let's go.
Okay. I think as you watch them break for lunch around noon, about an hour later, we'll say, you are sort of loitering in the lobby, kind of watching that wing. There's a handful of people who are, aware of your presence as they walk by, but again, the keep is much quieter, much emptier than it's been in your memory. And there's really not a lot to obscure you from their view as the conservators begin to file out of the lobby, into the lobby and up the stairs or out into the grounds. And there's definitely a mixture of reactions as they catch sight of you, right? There's a couple of faces, Kaus's included, which see you and immediately turn away and just continue,
Should give him like a...
Yeah. Zero acknowledgement from them after having made eye contact.
That's fine.
There's a handful that, will give you a proper greeting, a wave and a Lauren, and continue on their way. And the others seem, again, trepidatious. There's sort of a hesitancy to their conduct as they pass you by. Like there's definitely some very mixed feelings among the leadership right now. And at the back of the pack, you will see the steward, Elsar, making his way into the lobby, the foyer area of this keep. But when he sees you, he will simply pause and offer a hand. You wanted to speak.
Yes.
Follow me, please. And he will lead you back up to his quarters, the upper floors, and sitting down in that sort of high-windowed, light-filled space, he will set a kettle over a small fire and prepare some tea. So,
And real quick, insight check. Is he pleased to see me? Just let me see where we're starting off this conversation with. 21.
he sounds tired, and he looks tired.
Gotcha.
He is even-toned, as he usually is, but you can definitely pick up. This has not been a restful few days.
Okay. I'll just wait for him. Give him time to do what he's doing.
Okay. I mean, he'll set up tea and get some cups out and set them down on the table for you too, and
once he sits down, he'll just look to you and he says, well, to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
Well, I was thinking about our last conversation. And I think I have an idea for you.
Do you?
I do. Since mobilizing the Green Wardens is definitely a no-go.
I wouldn't say that, as he just kind of glances at the window. And I mean, if you look out onto the grounds, you can see, the groups of young wardens all in the process of drilling, sparring, practicing magic in masses you haven't seen since training in the Verdant Vale.
I was thinking, and I feel like a way to keep the wardens out of it, but also allow wardens to participate if they so choose to and would like to, you make it a voluntary basis, where you grant wardens like a leave of absence, send them to the Eastern Alliance, where they would be able to give them orders that could help them, while leaving the wardens free of any repercussions of a mass group effort, as it is not directly the Green Wardens directing their actions. It would be the Eastern Alliance. And if the Green Wardens did want to participate, the remainder, it would be more of strategy to protect the civilian population that could be affected by a mass attack and such.
Well, it is not terribly far off from the reality we are facing at this point. Well, I appreciate the thought. At this point, Lauren, I'm not sure there's much more that me or the conservators can say to change what's going to happen next. You had a considerable impact on your peers the other day. As you can see.
Yeah. A little bit.
There are many in the keep and in the lodges around the Emerald Sea that have heard of what you said and agree. And I don't know that we have the ability to put a lid back on this thing you've opened.
But if you make it like a volunteer, like they could go and help and like let them, and
I'm not sure I've been clear. I apologize. I don't think the conservators and I could stop them from volunteering at this point.
well, you're not. I feel like she's like, well, that's not the point of volunteering. Like, if they're ready and willing to go, then what this is giving you is that it's giving you the ability to give them the option to go without telling them no. Because where you're going to get the pushback is by saying no. You can't do this. And I think that could help establish a better view and a better ability for them to listen to you again if you let them go and help. Because when they come back and explain it to them, tell them what you told me. I was a little too in the moment when we spoke last, looking back at it. But if you explain to them, it's like, if we do this and a guard would invade us, and this is our primary reason of saying no, but this is a loophole to that. If you would want to fight, do it. Go, help. Because our hands are tied because of this. Because we would be facing another threat from a different side, which we do not need at this time. And I feel like you would get a much better reaction from the younger wardens that do so agree with my views.
If you'll pardon my use of the expression, as I know it is not often used in this fashion, you are saying the quiet parts out loud right now. You're right.
Because honestly, if there's conservators that want to go, if you give them a leave of absence and you lit out a whole thing where it's saying we are not responsible for what these members are doing at this time.
If the leadership of the Green Wardens in the Emerald Coast condones the mass mobilization of our membership, we may as well be ordering it ourselves. In Inigard's eyes, there's no difference. Or at least there won't be when the time comes for that reckoning. The official position of the lodge, with the keep, and the lodges, will,
So what I'm
for deniability's sake, have to be no. But I don't see a reason at this point to shout and raise a fuss about something that our membership is so clearly very, very passionate about.
I mean, it did happen here in this city. And from what it sounded like is Innerguard has literally put the Green Wardens in a complete chokehold, so you can't do anything unless it's peaceful negotiations.
You are starting to understand, I see. Good.
So we just need to go take care of Innerguard. That's what I'm hearing.
Slow down.
Mm.
Slow down.
Well, you don't have to. I'm technically not
I would encourage you to take a deep
Current
breath
member.
before
I am breathing.
pursuing down that line of thinking. This cult is one manner. Inigard is arguably the single most powerful nation on the face of Vergos. That conflict, do as it may be, can wait. The coast isn't ready. Which is why I do not want to jeopardize its freedoms
Then kick us
by
out.
officially aligning the wardens
Then kick us
with
out.
this rhetoric. I can't afford to kick all of you out. We wouldn't have wardens. We are in a unusual predicament.
Kick us out and reinstate us later.
Give them a leave of absence. Just send them on vacation.
Literally what I'm saying. Put them on permanent. What are you guys planning on doing to Alexion? A permanent leave of absence? where he's no longer a member of the Green Wardens? Isn't that basically
He is on suspension
a
from the
permanent
conservators'
suspension?
table. Not permanent, just
Hmm.
for the time being. It is important that on record, the keep does
And-
not look as though it condones these activities.
So, put us all.
If I let you go, that looks like permission, which I cannot be seen to be giving.
But then you would just
Do
be.
you follow?
Are you just gonna say no and then we just go do it anyways?
That is what I expect to happen, yes.
So, are
And
there
I
going to be
don't think-
repercussions for that, though? Because at this point, if there's going to be repercussions, you might as well just kick us all out. And then restart the Green Wardens. Because either way, with what you're saying is if you say no, there's no way, and we go against direct orders from the Green Wardens and the Conservators, there has to be follow-up punishment, or else there will be, the Inner Guard will still see it as us doing it anyways, as
There
it was just a...
will likely be some manner of reckoning down the line, which we have yet to determine exactly what to do with. You're not wrong. I should have asked before, obviously, we began this conversation, because this is serious. But this obviously never happened, this conversation. We did not have this discussion regarding flaunting the Warden's Code so brazenly. True? Correct? Agreed?
Okay.
Okay. If I give leave, it looks like permission. I can't do that. That looks bad. That's bad for the coasts, and I won't have it. I don't expect to be listened to at this point when I say no, which is fine. I think the Wardens believe they're doing the right thing. I know you believe you're doing the right thing, and I'm inclined to agree. If I were in your position, I would feel similarly, and I know your father would as well. I don't hold it against you, and I don't hold it against the others. It does present a challenge, considering how many of our number are in what's tantamount to open rebellion against our leadership. It is an unprecedented situation.
That's why everyone hates me in here.
Well, you certainly don't have your fans among the Conservators, but you have also certainly swayed a number of them as well. It's a very tricky situation we're having to navigate. And as you've surmised, handling the fallout after this is all over, putting on the proper show for the authorities back west will be important. And while we don't know what that looks like yet, we will figure it out. Part of that will involve maintaining Alexi's current suspension.
So it'll be ongoing for indefinitely.
I think until he has done the work that he needs to do, making sure the coast is safe. I'm given to understand he is doing much more over at the Presidium than he would be able to accomplish in the boardroom here.
What was that, Burberry?
I said keeping the coast clear.
Yeah.
Sorry, couldn't resist. Moving on.
So what will that mean for me then? I'll probably be kicked out, right?
Well, that is a very big part of the equation right now. I don't think it's deniable in any sense that you had a lot to do with what's to come.
And again, I don't personally fault you for it.
But it'll probably be easier to persuade Inagard if you kick me out, if I was one of the core reasons all of this happened.
Potentially. But I think it also, for me at least, raises the question of what you want to do after all of this is said and done. Obviously, I mean, if we fail and the coast is destroyed by this thing, it won't matter. So, forget that potential future. After you successfully save all of our lives and indebt us for the remainder of our lives.
I feel like Lauren would be like, I don't know. I don't know if I really see a spot here in the Green Wardens anymore. I don't know if I belong anymore.
I don't think the modern wardens would know what to do with you.
Yeah. Which leads, kicking me out would be one of the easiest decisions to do, and would be one of the most cost-effective.
I think that's an option. I think that you have more to do with your life than just save the entire Emerald Coast, Sea of Halan, and then lose your job.
I have plenty of money.
It's not about the money. I mean, you're poised to do something that few people could ever hope to achieve in their lifetime. And that's, I think, only going to be the beginning of a very long and illustrious career, but I don't know doing what.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been asking myself some questions, and the big one I have is I don't know where I belong here anymore. Where would I go? What would I do? So I'm no longer just a Green Warden.
Well, I think there are some who would
Pretty sure.
argue that you are a greener warden than anyone in the keep here. And I don't doubt that there are many who would follow you if you asked.
I mean, if this could... Okay. Well, if you're saying I'm a Greener Warden, that means I just truly don't understand the values of the Green Wardens.
I think you might know them better than most at this point. In a garden, especially. I think what you're doing, what you're proposing, I think rings truer to the memory of the wardens under Illyria before the fall than most of the warden's leadership care to remember. I would encourage you, I think, as he will kind of stand up to retrieve the tea and pour you a cup and himself a cup, replace the kettle. He's going to turn to a bookshelf next to it, and he is going to grab a couple of books off of the shelf next to the hearth.
I feel like Lauren will pop a joke since this has been kind of a serious talk. She's like, especially in CC books, she's like, those aren't any spicy books, are they?
Their history,
Oh,
as he will hand them to you.
she's just like, oh,
Boo.
boo.
I would encourage you to familiarize yourselves with these to start, at the very least. Records of
warden activity, of warden responsibilities during our first century of activity on Vergos. I think you could find some very compelling examples in those pages. And I think you could do a lot to fortify your position down the line in a way that even I would not be able to deny when the time came to it.
Into what?
Into something better.
I feel like Alorn's kind of like squinty-eyed at him, like, do you want me to change the Green Wardens? Is that what I'm picking up right here?
Never said that. As he straightens out his vest with a kind of a wry little smile. But I think, still in my charge, it's not out of line for me to propose maybe you brush up on some of our organization's history, maybe reflects on our place in the world and how we've come to conduct ourselves in the days since Enegard rose to primacy.
Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, my whole plan was... I had a whole plan. I could just be your guys' scapegoat for you. Tell them to follow me, as you said that they would. And be the little head honcho of everything. So when it came time for Enegard to place blame, it's on me, you kick me out. No longer associate with me.
I think you'll make a much stronger case if you storm out. For what it's worth. The optics will be much more compelling, I think.
Oh, okay, so you want me to just... Grrr! Bear!
Don't kill anyone.
I'm not gonna kill anybody, I'm just gonna destroy some shit.
He's gonna lean over and grab another book off the shelf. And he's gonna put that in front of you too. It's like
Oh, no!
and a primer on oratory. Like
It's the real reason Lauren storms out. He's trying to make her.
Are you saying, like, storm out right now after this meeting?
No.
Oh.
No. After everything has settled and the wardens need to reckon with this mass insubordination.
Oh, and then I get kicked out, and then I just go, grrr, how could you
I think
do this to
you
me?
preempt that with a show of conviction.
I'll take this into consideration.
I would strongly advise it. But again,
My plan was
this
very
conversation never happened.
different. Got it. My plan was very different, so this is a very different change of events.
Well, it sounds as though your plan is more or less playing out. So, well played, Miss Oglath.
Thank you. I could be a pretty persuasive person.
As it turns out.
Especially once I'm done reading this book.
Yeah, wait till I'm... I feel like... Yeah. She's like, wait till I'm done with these bad boys. Smacks the books. Maybe I'll just get Alexi to summarize them for me. I mean, I'll read them, for sure. I swear to God, I'll read them, okay? It was a joke.
I don't know. I like the slow sip of tea.
Just imagine her looking
Yeah,
really
I'm gonna totally read these.
Oh my God, she gets Adlar to read them for her. She's like, explain the core concepts to me, please. There's no smut, and I don't like history.
Laura just needs like magical Cliff Notes glasses.
Yeah,
I don't want to do homework.
Work.
Ugh.
Gross.
You could give it to Burberry. You probably could.
Do you think I should make a speech out to the wardens before I go, or just kind of disappear?
I think what you do after you leave this room is up to you. You're certainly not listening to me, at any rate, right?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Good.
Takes a sip of tea. She'll put her books in the bag of holding.
Sure. Elsar will sip his tea as well. He will, after a moment, say, I really hope this works out for you. I do.
Well, if Lothrog doesn't hunt me down and kill me and my friends, I mean...
Again, if
should be
this
fine.
goes badly and we all die in the wake of the Leviathans rise, then this will all have been for nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I potentially... I think Lothrog might know my mother's alive. Potentially. And I think everybody kind of knew where it was. The place. So, a potential relocation might be at hand. I'm gonna do some more investigating first before go to extremes, but my last talk with him wasn't so great, so.
I don't think that a concerted relocation effort by the wardens is going to be stealthy if we're trying to hide her.
Fair. I'm just trying to figure out where to take them. Well, maybe...
I would say inland, if you can manage it.
As
Yeah.
far away from the ocean as possible.
I know it's not necessarily the Triton's preferred place of settlement, but if it's a temporary relocation for their safety, I would move inland if you can help it.
Have you considered with the Fae?
I was actually thinking feral for that exact reason.
I have a dumb question. Is there such thing as freshwater Triton?
I haven't caught any.
Those are not super common. I think you would more likely see Vidalcan in that kind of circumstance.
Okay. I guess with that, Aloran will thank him for the tea and the conversation
That we never had.
that we never had. I don't even remember what we talked about. Wait, were we even talking? Whew.
If
You
we
know
did,
me.
it was...
Good old bad Aloran. You did bad things. Grr.
good enough. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Alright, Aloran will leave the Green Keep. And then so the drills outside, is there like someone like commanding them, or is it just like the junior wardens just
They're just doing it themselves. Like they are more or less rehashing like practice drills from training, you know.
Maybe Aloran will go out there and give them some pointers.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell them that they like to use poison. Poison's a big thing for them.
Okay.
And they like to be stealthy in the shadows.
I think there's definitely interest if you're coming out there to give people, you know, insight onto how these cultists work. And before long, if you're out there, you know, kind of sharing practical knowledge, you know, you've got yourself a decently sized crowd of some of the, you know, older of the younger wardens, you know, that are like, yeah, fill us in. We'll tell everybody, you know, in our, you know, units what you know, what you're telling us. And
Yeah.
you know, there's plans to start, you know, brewing antitoxins in mass, and they're you know, healing potions, and you know, start moving in groups and keeping watches, and patrolling the city, as
But yeah, I think she'd also say but the main thing we need to be protecting are the people.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah, I fully agree. It's the whole reason we're doing this.
Yeah. And then maybe she tells them about the big sea urchin guy with his little laser pointer of death.
Yeah, I don't know if we're up to that.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but just so you're aware of what it can do if it's here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I saw it. I remember seeing it the day it happened. Saying, yeah, I was there too. Yeah, me too. Like, there's people who were
Cool.
there
Okay.
for it. And it's definitely the back of everyone's minds what these things can do.
Oh, I feel like she'd probably say, keep an eye on people that make magic items. Because in Chaser, they were abducting people.
Oh, shit, seriously? Whoa, oh, fuck. Oh, God, yeah. And there's definitely like a murmur of, yeah, we'll start keeping an eye out for sure. Checking in on people. Friends and friends.
Cool. Well, I must be going.
We're behind you 100%, Lord. Let's go! Wardens! Right? There's definitely like a smattering of that as you make your way off the grounds. So, some stuff happening at the keep.
Oh my god. What the fuck? I did not expect that to happen.
There's some crazy shit going on.
I feel
What
like
are you talking
Lauren's
about?
just
That didn't happen.
I feel like Lauren's just like, what the fuck is this? She's like, holy shit, these people would literally like follow me. He wasn't kidding. Holy shit.
Okie doke. So, what's next for the party?
Imagine all the paperwork we actually ran them.
Real. That'd be rough.
Because that's the real thing we're worried about here.
The paperwork.
That's what Alexi's for. He loves papers
Does he?
and books.
Does he?
I think he
Fucking
does.
Nerd.
He's a nerd.
I mean, he's
I mean,
a
I'd go
wizard,
back-
right? So probably.
I mean, I go back to the Presidium because I feel like that's probably the meeting place. And
Okay.
if Adlar's there, I think she'd probably tell him about that and be like, dude, that was crazy.
Dude, what the fuck? Did he seriously say all that?
Yeah, I do think she'd be like, I need to go talk to Alexi. I have to tell him about this. This shit's wild.
Sure. What's the rest of the party doing while Lauren is touching base?
Fish.
Ishin.
I
Okay.
wanted to go to the conclave and make a little sanctuary closet.
Word of recall, sure.
Yeah.
You can
I like
definitely designate the Temple Viridia as your first sanctuary. Without issue.
Cool.
I feel like John has been bored lately, so he's gone and found the gym, and it's just working out.
He's figuring out what it means to be leg day.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine there probably are gyms in Freeport. I think they'd probably largely be centered around like boxing rings. Like they probably have like weights and stuff around the perimeter, and there'd be like a big boxing ring in the middle where people are sparring and stuff. But definitely doable. And you are probably the biggest guy in the gym, so there's definitely a lot of people coming up to John being like, "Bro, how'd you get your delts like that? How'd you get that fucking pump,
Did you
Oh,
bro?"
spot me, bro?
Yeah,
Just to get full and punch things at the same time.
yeah. It's like, damn, bro, your fucking calves are killer. What do you take? Do you juice, bro? Yeah. So John's gym ratting for the day. Barnaby's fishing. Burberry is getting word of recall set up. Noel, what you got? Anything?
I have a really tiny little scene I wanted to do at one point.
Okay.
If Barnaby's just sitting there fishing, I assume that's in his spot outside the Presidium, or would he be somewhere else, David?
Wherever there is water that flows, I'll probably be there.
That's so
So
vague.
probably, yeah.
I feel like that is very profound.
Where the water flows, I'll be there.
I'll
Maybe
be
Barnaby should be
there.
the poet.
Now, that's about all you'll get out of me.
Barnaby cooks.
Fair enough.
That's his art.
At some point, Noelle would probably just see Barnaby fishing when she's probably walking back from the meeting. Go, just sit next to him. Be quiet for a couple minutes. And then, she'd take out her notebook and she'd open it to a blank page. And she'd say, "Hey, do you have any tips for writing a bucket list?"
Well, first you need a bucket.
Is that really important?
Barnaby pulls out his fishing bucket and pulls out his bucket list in the bucket.
Oh,
Where else are you supposed to keep it?
I wouldn't have expected that, but okay. I'll get a bucket.
You got a spare?
Do you have an extra over there?
Let me see. Yeah, I think I got one. It's got a fish in it, though.
No, I'll take the fish out. Where do you want me to put this?
Well, you can eat it.
I'll wait till it's cooked.
So yourself.
I'll just set it on
Why,
the
you
bench
thinking of
next to
making a
me.
bucket list?
You just set it in the sand. Swish it around in the seawater. Get the fish slime out of the bucket.
It's a little dirty. Well, it just occurred to me that given the scale of everything we're doing, should we succeed, I feel like things are gonna feel a little empty for a while. It'd be nice to have things to look forward to. So yes, I guess is the answer to your question. I was thinking about it.
What are the things you've been thinking about? Got anything to add to it? You need something as well to add to it, or else it's not going to be a bucket list.
Well, so I was going to ask you is, how do you decide what to add to it? Like, why did you want to, oh shoot, I can't remember most of yours. Wasn't one of them like be struck by lightning or something?
Do something to a president or a monarch?
Oh yeah, kidnap a monarch?
I got struck by lightning 5 times, so I'm thoroughly good on that one. I could give you one if you want one of them.
No, I'm more just asking what inspired you to put that down.
That's just something I figured haven't had done to me or done it, so kind of popped into my head. When you're fishing for this long, you get to thinking a lot of things. Like this one right here. Is a sea cucumber really a vegetable? I got to thinking about that. Why are they called a sea cucumber if they ain't a vegetable? So I put it on my bucket list to cook one, see if there is or not, but I ain't got one yet.
Maybe that's my problem. We've been so busy I haven't had time to just sit and think.
Barnaby will hand you an extra fishing lure, or fishing rod and lure. Well, here, plop yourself down and think.
I suppose today would be a good day for that. How do I... Trying to like get the line through the fishing rod.
Is it fly fishing or is it a real Barnaby?
It's real.
Okay. Is it
You
like
don't do fly fishing, at least not until it could fly.
Is it store bought or is it like a homemade reel?
Oh, these are all homemade.
Nice.
Real nice, sturdy branch.
Could you show me how to do the cast?
It's all about how you flick the wrist here. Watch my hand. He's gonna flick it out real far.
Okay, I'll give it
Why
a
did
shot.
I be doing the perfect cast?
What?
From a Goofy movie, perfect cast.
Perfect cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take some lessons from Barnaby as how to do a good cast. I'll start to try. I'll fail initially.
Yeah, Noel, give me a dexterity check. We'll see how long this takes you to get a handle on it.
That's pretty good. Dex
Oh.
check.
Yeah.
20 total.
Oh, okay. I think you take to it.
Well, not too bad, not too bad.
This is way easier than the catching the fish with your hand thing we were doing.
I mean, there's easy and there's fun. That's the real thing. Easy when you just want to relax. Fun when you want to catch it.
I suppose this isn't quite as thrilling. But I feel like that's kind of what I need right now. Oh, thank you, Barnaby. This is actually giving me a lot to think about. I'll let you know if I come up with a few things for my bucket list.
Please do. Might give me something to put on my bucket list.
Hope so.
Assuming it's ones that you haven't already claimed, I ain't gonna go copycatting.
Of course, I won't steal any of yours as well.
Appreciate it.
I'll just fish with Barnaby for a while.
Nice.
Aww.
I guess we'll cut to Aloran then. You would probably know that Alexei has basically been in that sort of subterranean harbor where the void ship is housed, working with Gideon, trying to get that thing back in functional order. Knowing how to get in there, I think it would mostly just involve, you head down to that section of the hallway in the dungeon and just kind of just like yell and bang on the wall for a few minutes until, that large opening would form and you would see Gideon standing at the far end of it. And it's like, apologies for the wait, come on through, and kind of wave you in and lead you inside. And as you're walking through, he would say, Aaron had very good things to say about your findings in Jacer. Good work.
I feel like Aloran would look at him and be like, oh, are we
I got praised by Gideon.
are
Wait,
we on good terms again?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. He does have a faint smile when he says that, though. There is something slightly playful about his tone. But it is still 99% dry.
Well, I'm just gonna say we're best friends again. Great.
And we're
Again.
back where we started.
Yes. Always.
At any rate, genuinely, very, very, very good work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've heard of a cache of Gatewatch armaments like that in my entire time with the Watch.
Well, it seemed pretty important.
The fact that you were able to wrest it from its captors was impressive.
Yeah.
There's not many who could have taken out a small legion of automated legionnaires. So, impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He will lead you onto the ship and into the cockpit, I guess. The bridge, right? Sort of glass paneled chamber, kind of with a view of the deck and the surrounding space. Alexei is inside and he is fiddling with some of the panels. He's got, a couple of books open in front of him and some arcane circles like floating in the air that he's like kind of adjusting the dials on. These like glowing runes that are kind of turning at his gesture. And as he is, you can see the lights on these panels kind of lighting up and, shifting and blinking and, changing in color. as he's trying to get them working. It's like, I heard you would come back. I apologize. I didn't get to see you last night. How was Chaser?
That was good. We got the Gatewatch their stuff back.
Good.
Um,
Good. Gideon said Aaron was very pleased.
Yep.
I'm excited to see, frankly.
We took out the
There we
cult
go.
and Chaser that was abducting people. And saved like 20 people-ish.
You're okay? The rest of the emeralds?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you got out unscathed.
Oh, you know sending, right? I forgot. I wanted to ask Noelle earlier.
I am familiar.
Could you send to my mother for me?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
He just kind of grimaces like, I'm sorry, I didn't prepare today. I didn't think I need it.
That's okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Had an interesting experience at the Green Keep.
Did you?
Yeah, that was weird.
That does get his attention a little bit. He kind of straightens up and turns away from the console to face you. What happened?
People aren't listening to the conservators anymore, and it's all my fault.
That sounds about right.
Lauren's like uncomfortable by this revelation. She's like, I don't want people to follow me. I don't know.
Oh, it's a little late for that.
Oh, I do have a question for you. Have you read any of these books? And she'll pull out the 3 books she was given.
He's just genuinely shocked to see those in your possession. He's like, where did you get those?
A source. Anyways, have you read any of these?
Gideon just fucking squints, or not Gideon. Alexi just squints at you like, huh. I have, but there's not really summarizing when it comes to history, unless
Come on.
the
Give me
Green
like
Wardens did stuff. Is an
Give me
adequate
the
summary.
most important things, like a nice cliff note for me, just
I am not rewriting our history for you. We have a perfectly good one right there in your hands.
She looks like pain. She's like,
God forbid you crack a book.
it doesn't even have smut in it, Alexi. I can't.
Oh, heaven for a fan. Barnaby just says from out in the nether.
Apropos of nothing.
I'm sitting next to him. What?
I sense a disturbance in the force.
What happened?
Is there like a political romance in there? Like some people be fucking or nothing? Even just like a little hit? Drippity drop.
There's some.
Insight check.
I had a sense of disturbance.
22.
22. There's some. Not much.
Okay, I can work with that. Okay.
No, it's a
I'll just
scavenger
fill in
hunt.
the blanks. Okay. Oh, the
If I
other.
can offer some advice, don't linger too long on those particular portions of our history. They're not going to be of much use to you.
But.
But the smart.
But the smart, Alexi.
I would advise you give it a once over and get a good sense of the
I'm gonna
larger pattern
it.
at play in there.
Okay. Okay, what about this book? And this is the one about the.
Gods, I cannot imagine having been your teacher back in training.
You were at one point. Don't you remember?
I lectured you like twice.
Yeah. Didn't I have a resounding presence?
I like the idea
I
that
didn't
Alexi
say I
taught you.
forgot you. I just said it was only twice.
Yes.
I like the idea that Lexi taught you for longer, but he blocked it out.
Yeah, right. Well, me and Plet talked about it, and how it was is that she would just be talking, and he'd be like, "Lauren, attention, please," and then he's like, "Answer this question, since you're clearly not listening." And she was always like, "Oh yeah, the answer's blah blah blah. Are we done here? Cool." And then she'll go back to talking.
She was that fucking kid.
Oof. Poor Alexi.
I know. It was great.
So, yeah, he.
What about this book about being the one, I can't remember how you phrased it. It was the another book he tacked on after she was like
A primer on oratory?
Yeah. See, this isn't history. I think you can give me like a little cliff notes of this one, right?
I think your friend Noelle might be better qualified to explain the finer points of this particular film.
Alexi, oh my god. Aren't you supposed to be like my teacher, and I need to guide you through Green Warden's lore because you're my ward, and we can't do all this stuff because you're below me, and blah 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 blah.
I am an intelligence caster. You need the assistance of a charisma caster, my good friend. No, he would just say, like, I would not put myself above your friends in these terms.
Come on, just give me like
has,
a general summary. How about that?
Okay, your friend, she taught good. This book, how to talk good. Okay?
But I already talk good.
She says,
I'm getting through IC.
I talk real good.
He knows.
I think you really brought that down there.
He knows this art better than I could ever attempt to teach it. Okay? As much as I would love to help you here, I would be doing you a disservice knowing you have her to lean on for this.
Okay, back to the history books, Mr. Smarty Pants.
Read them.
Ah!
He will turn back to the console and pull up another series of arcane dials and begin fiddling with the settings.
I can't tell.
Gideon's just gonna lean forward and just be like, "How's it going?" He's like, well, we're about halfway, I think. Although we'll probably need to do a second passage to make sure the new settings aren't fucking with the old ones."
Hey Gideon, can you tell Alexi to help me? Because he's not helping
Gideon's
me.
gonna hold up a finger.
Come on.
At that point, you are going to hear Gerald's voice echoing into the bridge, like, "Hey guards, the guards back." Gideon's gonna perk up. He's gonna step outside. He's like, "What?" It's like, "Aaron's back. Come upstairs." And Gideon's gonna be like, "Oh, well, I would not want to miss these." He is going to very quickly follow Gerald out. I think Alexi is going to be like, "Shit, fine. He'll just, save the dial and."
Oh wait, real
follow
quick,
after him.
Alexi. I found this really cool book, and I just need it cleaned. Could you hold it for me for a second?
What book is this?
Just take it. You can read.
You hold the book out to him?
No, I give it to him. I'm like
Thrust it into his
forcefully.
hands.
Yeah, just...
Okay, he takes it and immediately he tosses it onto the console. It's like, where did you get that?
Too late, it's stuck to his hand.
Oh.
Can you clean it for me so
He's
I can...
just gonna do 3 prestidigitations on it before he stands up and walks away. It's like, that's disgusting, Lord. Follow the other two through the passage.
She'll take the book and start reading it behind him out loud.
The cover is definitely a lot cleaner and less tacky to the touch. The smell's a lot less terrible. There's still some pages inside that are...
Alexi, can you get the inside of the book? She's following him I really want to read it, but
he is just up the stairs.
No, she's right behind him. She's just pestering him.
This book gets more disgusting every time it gets brought up. It's just getting worse.
That guy really did a number to it.
It will never be clean. As you guys leave the keep of the Presidium and step out into the courtyard, you would see fast approaching from the north a V formation of humanoid figures led by a much larger one, flying at a fairly decent clip towards the Presidium. And as you all join Gerald, he's kind of like, yeah, that's either Aaron or we're in some serious shit. And as she flies up, you will see Aaron indeed in the cockpit of that large mechanical humanoid figure sort of come to a stop in the airspace over the Presidium. The more human-sized suits of armor flying behind her, following suit, and then in a group, they will all begin to lower themselves down to the ground. The hum of their, sort of arcane engines sort of dying down as they set foot on the ground. The cockpit will swing open. Erin will sort of hoist herself out and down, and she will just kind of gesture to them, all of the machines behind her, and she'll just be like, inside, down to the dungeons. I need to sit down. And you'll see all of these armored figures following Aaron inside in kind of a double file line through the front door. Gideon and Gerald are both watching them just fucking like a dog, like mouths agape. Gerald's eyes wide. Gideon you can't really see. He's blindfolded. Alexei is similarly excited. He's like, oh, that is cool. And they, march themselves inside and down the stairs, without any further instruction, kind of following Aaron's initial command. They will follow Aaron back inside, and Gideon will be like, how does it fly? Is it good? And she's like, it's surprisingly smooth for its age. I would not have expected that thing to be this functional. And Gideon's like, I cannot believe you found one. That is impressive. And Aaron's just like, that's not even the best part. It's actually got an engine on the back. Like a full-size one. We could pull it for the ship. At which point Gideon's just like, that's perfect. And Aaron is, grabbing herself, a drink in the Great Hall and just kind of threading a straw up through the visor.
Maybe flip up the thing.
And she'll go into say, like, I need some sleep. I've been flying all night, but after I'm up, I can get to work on pulling that out and recalibrating it. Alexa's like, I would love to help if you want to start first thing in the morning. I'm here for it, by all means. I'd love to see this. And Aaron's like, yeah, fine, absolutely. Lauren, glad to see you made it back safely. How have things been?
Fine. I need to go find some stuff.
Well, say hi to the others for me if you see them before I do.
Well, you'll probably see them. They'll come back here, I'm sure.
Sure. I mean, I may be asleep by then. Ah, damn. Tell them thank you again for me. I mean, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And she is gonna down that drink. There is a buzz of conversation in there about the particulars of these armored suits. Definitely sounds like they could be worn or could run on their own from the sound of it. Although the larger one does seem to need a
Pilot.
To command it. Without the engine, it sounds like it'll still run its basic functions, but it's going to require some measure of casting capacity for the pilot to access its higher functions, which, they seem pretty confident between the four of them. Somebody could run this thing, or shit, one of you guys, if you were so inclined when the time came. They've got candidates. And there's also some conversation about Rainer and Sakuna are supposed to be back later today, right? It's like, yes, last I heard they were back on their way to Freeport. They should be at Woodhall by sundown, with any luck. So, we should hear back from them soon. Speaking of which, actually, at which point Gideon will turn back to you, Lauren, if you're still in the room.
Yes, I guess so.
We did have some news to share, if your party is interested, regarding the ruins.
Yes. Probably should definitely wait for that.
Yes. We got in touch with some archaeological fellows at Belleguade Academy, who specialized in these ruins.
Oh, do the ruins are of people that used to worship the Leviathan, and that's why it's glowing red and all that stuff, right?
In short, yes.
Cool. Okay, cool. So we got we understand the prime basics of it.
Right. We can set up a meeting with what was his name? Professor Sassier. He would be able to give you a more thorough rundown if you had questions.
Sure. Love that.
Yes. We could probably make that happen tomorrow. I know he's intent to help however he can with the situation.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I do need to go.
Okay.
I need to take care of something else before the day's over.
Sure.
And,
ready?
Lauren's gonna go to the public record house.
Okay. I mean, there are numerous branches of the public library. There's City Hall. There's the Freeport Chronicle itself, which maintains copies of all its old papers.
I think she'll kind of stop by all three of them, and she's gonna look for records on her and her mother and the newspaper that was talking about where her family moved to after it was destroyed.
Okay. I would like to open the floor to anybody else before we move into this evening activity. If there's anything anybody else wants to be doing. I know Noelle and Barnaby were fishing. And John was doing some gym stuff. Is there anything else anybody wants to do with their day?
I'm all good. I'm all set up at the conclave.
Yep, that would be a quick casting once you're on temple grounds.
I'm good myself.
Okay.
I think if Noelle caught a fish, she'd want to make it into gumbo.
Easy peasy.
Barnaby gumbo, please.
I would like to be rewarded for my efforts.
I
With
have a
gumbo.
craving.
Please, Barnaby.
I have a craving.
Wumble me.
All right.
What?
Wumbo. First grade,
Gwumbo.
Barnaby.
I guess then, with nothing else, Lauren, you would be able to start checking branches of the public library in town, making
I
your
feel
way.
like she would ask Adler if he wanted to join her. If he's been bored or if he wants to keep doing what he's doing.
I mean, sure. Honestly, I've been taking the day to just vibe. But
Well, you can
I
keep
would-
vibing.
no, I've been vibing all day. I'm
Is he
More than
practicing
happy.
2A?
more than happy to come along. I think that first couple of branches of the library that you visit would not be too difficult. You'd be pointed towards a particular section of the library where they hold periodicals, and you'd be able to locate, the series of articles that were published over the course of, a couple of weeks after the expedition ship returned to shore. That listed, the list of survivors and folks either missing in action or confirmed dead, and the plans for relocation and the construction effort and the final actual move from the Green Keep to Wormbone Beach.
She will take all of them and put them in her bag of holding.
Okay. I'll say give me a sleight of hand check.
Just full on theft.
Yep.
It's full on stealing the newspaper from the library.
16.
16. Okay, yeah. So 1 branch, 2 branch, 3 branch, not hard. You find these papers and grab hold of them and just cram it into your bag. It's real quick, real quiet. Just roll it up and slide it down, and you are able to leave the library without really raising any suspicion. Carry on with your work. I think when you reach City Hall and you are looking at the records there.
Because these ones would be more like people records and stuff, right?
Well, these would be actual. I mean, they would have copies of the paper as well. I think you would find there was a couple of people also browsing the periodicals here. And they would just kind of glance up at you as you step down to grab your paper before carrying on with what they're doing.
Did they seem sketchy?
Insight check.
Ooh. Sweet. 22.
22. You're like scrutinizing these two, right? And there's like this older gentleman in, kind of a long-tailed coat, with a curled mustache, and a younger man in like a little Newsies hat and kind of a dusty jacket. Both human. And they keep kind of like looking back over their shoulder at you as they're going through papers and like kind of like side-eyeing you, like, what are you looking at? They seem more put off by your scrutiny than anything else.
Perfect. Lovely. That's
But
what
there
I was
are
curious
witnesses down this aisle, so give me another sleight of hand check when you try to pocket this roll of paper.
about. Oh, even better.
Okay, what'd you get?
17.
Oh,
What,
shit,
better
yeah,
by
That is
one.
technically better.
that is better. You quickly locate the copies of the papers, just kind of stack them, roll them, and down into your bag of holding. At this point, these two guys have been very thoroughly sussed out by your scrutinizing them, and are like intentionally keeping their backs to you, just like trying not to make eye contact again.
That's fine.
If
If they're like uncomfortable, she'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
She was just like
Well,
curious.
they're just like, they're not looking at you when you pocket the paper, so they're like, they don't hear you and they don't acknowledge you as you like pocket it and start walking away. Although you do hear this very faint, just like, what was that about? From the two of them as you leave. Your next couple of stops again proceed fairly smoothly until you reach your 6th stop over the course of the evening. About, we'll say, 2 hours later, you've been crisscrossing town, hitting every possible place you can think of to go. You finally reach the Freeport Chronicle building and make your way down to their archive as directed. God, what's his name? The little
Strat.
reporter boy. Strat. There it is. I was like Zap. It's like Zap Dilapa.
Zappin'.
Zappa Zappy. Strat would more than happily, direct you down there. And it's like, yeah, we've had a few visitors today, but yeah, it's just down bottom floor, basement. You'll find the week you're looking for, this aisle, this number, and this bay, right? Like he can give you straight up directions.
Did anybody else ask for anything like this?
I mean, we had some people asking for papers in the last year, but not that specific, no.
Okay.
And yeah, you would be able to take the lift down to the archive and make your way into the aisles there. And as you kind of turn the corner into the aisle bearing your destination, you would see that there is one guy currently in that aisle, standing in front of your intended bay, papers in hand. And he would just kind of glance up at you, pause, and look back down at the papers. And this guy is a kind of older-looking half-elven man. You know, slight point on the ears and like unshaven kind of chin, kind of a receding hairline, hair pulled back into a ponytail. And he just kind of goes back to his paper, kind of flipping through the pages.
So he definitely recognized me.
He like looked up at you and then after a moment went back to his paper.
I feel like she'll be like, "Excuse me," and she'll go right next to him and start grabbing the papers.
He is going to put his paper back and, you know, pull out another paper. And I would just say he begins to reach for one of the papers that you're reaching for. Go ahead and give me a dex check.
Kill him.
Loki, that. I rolled a 4.
He rolled a 7.
Damn it.
You like collide hands, and he just kind of mumbles out, "Oh, excuse me," but he like doesn't pull back. He just like grabs the paper and pulls it out and turns away from you to like start reading the front page.
Can I get an insight check on this guy?
Yeah, sure. Give me an insight check.
Is he being sussy?
He just wants to find out who won the gardening festival.
What's really funny is each of these insights I'm rolling like one better than the So that would be a 24.
24?
Yeah.
You know, there was a split second where you might have believed this guy wasn't here for nefarious purposes, but then he started walking away from you at a very brisk pace, paper in hand, reaching into his pocket for something.
Oh, perfect. She fucking launches at this fucker. She will fucking go for it.
Okay, and he hears you start running at him, and he starts running too. Also, give me an initiative roll.
Turbo T-Rex.
That'd be a 15.
15? God damn, girlfriend.
This is accurate. She is your girlfriend.
I got a 17.
Damn.
He is running from you, and he is frantically reaching into his pocket, pulling something out, and holding it up to his mouth. And you can hear him whispering something into his hand as he's running. But that is going to be the extent of his turn.
I will cast Hold Person.
Okay. Does an 11 succeed?
No.
Okay, then. And he will freeze mid-stride.
Is he still talking? Was he still talking?
He was in the process of finishing a sentence, but he stops mid-sentence.
Perfect. She will take that sending stone from him. Well, she'll run up to him.
Sure.
And then, I guess then it's... Because I don't think I can really do anything else, because otherwise she would start trying to, she'd take the sending stone and start, tying him up and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, casting a spell would be your action.
Yeah, so she runs up to... She, gets in front of him, so he has to go around her to get away.
Sure. Adlar is, picking up the rear, probably. He's probably going to, draw his bow and just ready it to shoot the guy from behind, if he can. this guy will need to make another wisdom save at the end of his turn. Hey, that is a 20.
Damn it.
Dirty 20. The hold person will fade as he kind of pushes out of it. And he is just going to look at you like, it's done. And he's going to start reaching into his pocket. And he's going to pull out a knife and try to stab you. Fuck. That's like a 7. That's a fail. And this one actually might hit. That's going to be a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. So you're going to take 6 piercing damage.
Oh my god.
Con save, please.
Oh, fuck.
Man, that tone changed.
It's a nat 1.
Oh.
Do you have info?
It's
Full damage. You are also going to take 5, 11, 15, 20, 27 poison damage.
God. Die. Fucking poison.
Adlar is going to let out some arrows from behind this guy, since that triggered his readied action. Fuck, that's a miss on the first one. But he will use his turn to attack the guy twice with 2 longbow strikes. That is a hit and a miss. Damn, Adlar. So that's going to be 1d8 plus 15. 20 damage. And then what are you doing on your turn?
I'm going to cast Gaze?
Yes, but
Gaze?
Gish.
Gish?
Gish.
yes.
Yep. I saw a video of Davy Jones talking about how he put a terrible gish in his chest.
And it will be, you will listen to whatever I say. You will do whatever I say. Type of thing.
Okay, so he needs to make a wisdom save.
Mm-hmm.
Fail.
That's 4.
Sweet. My first command is I will you will not hurt me. You will not scream. You will not say anything. But you're going in this bag. And then she's gonna scoop him up. I feel like she's like, you are to do nothing. Like, you can't do anything.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know if he's incentivized to listen. So he's gonna take the 5d10 psychic damage as he continues to try and fight his way out. So go ahead and deal 5d10.
I'll just...
Tell you what, 5d10 is not as much of a detriment as you'd think it would be. This is the second time that this has happened.
It's big damage on weaker people, for sure. But this guy's clearly relatively competent.
This would guarantee you get a peasant to do anything you want.
37.
But what if I wanted to get a pheasant to
Damn.
do anything I want?
That's a good roll on Gash.
It's like,
Holy shit. Okay.
my lowest one
37.
was a 3. Yeah.
Holy cow. That's insane. He takes another swing with the sword, with the knife, but you see immediately he flinches, and there's just as a huge just glob of blood gets coughed up. You see it start to pour down of his nose, out of his ears. The eyes start to go bloodshot. He looks bad. I'm gonna give him disadvantage on that because that was a lot of damage. Well, that kind of worked out in your favor. One of those wasn't at 20, so he's only going to deal the base 4 damage. That's going to be 22 to hit.
Mhm.
So 3 piercing damage. 1 more con save.
Ooh, okay, I might actually save this one. 18.
That is it. That is a success. So you'll take half of this, which is going to be 10. Oh wow, this is worse. 18. So 9 poison damage. And Adlar is going to shoot him
I
twice.
feel like she'd try to talk to Adlar real quick and be like, don't kill him.
Are you sure? He like lowers it to like point at like the kidney.
Yeah, she's like, don't kill him. I need to talk to him. I need to figure out who he told.
So that first one's gonna hit. Second one is also gonna hit. So that's gonna be another 20 plus dex plus d20. So 2 shots. He's like, "Are you sure?" Okay, and he just into the back as the guy just collapses to the ground, bleeding profusely now from his face and from these arrow wounds. Unconscious for sure.
All right, I'll tie him up and give him a little cure wounds to make sure he doesn't die.
Okay, fair enough. Adlar will assist so that you can quickly make sure he's not dead. And after he is tied up and
Gagged and
conscious again, he's like blinking blearily, still coughing up the blood from the geish. It's like looking at you.
He's gonna put him in her bag.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
I don't think this is the place to do an interrogation.
Okay. Then I guess you're taking him back to the Presidium?
Yeah, and I'll take the rest of the papers, even though it's kind of pointless, and still just take them with me.
Well.
And she's gonna take him to the dungeon.
Alright. Yeah, I think the rest of you guys would probably see a Lauren returning in the evening, with Adlar, both of them looking a little unhappy, and Lauren is bleeding.
Oh, what
From a
happened to you
couple
guys?
stab wounds.
I need to go. Can I borrow the dungeon, please?
Is that your blood or someone else's?
Mine.
Yeah, let me grab a key. Oh, holy shit, what happened to you?
You want a band-aid for that?
I'll explain later. I need to talk to this person and fucking kill him.
Adlar?
No. I helped.
Oh,
I feel like she'll pull his head out of the bag and shove it back in.
who the hell is that?
About to find out.
Probably a cultist.
Okay. Good to know.
Dinner's at 7.
Is there anything out of character? Because Burberry doesn't know. Lauren, did your mom and
What?
Do what?
did you want to call your mom and warn her?
I think Lauren is like in denial. She's like really hoping it wasn't that. She's like, no, I need to talk to him first. I have to.
Okay,
I have to double check.
Okay.
It's fair.
So, Gerald will help you guys get him into a cell, locked up, manacled to the wall. And he is just kind of sitting there, chained up, looking up at you. Blood just pouring down his, face, or at least having poured. He's now like stained dark, staining the collar of his shirt.
What did you tell them?
I told him I was bid.
That you were what?
I was bid to find there at Warmbone Beach, right?
Well, she's gonna take out her fucking thing and like slash his fucking neck. Just fucking kill him.
Roll it.
Roll initiative.
He's low. He's low foe. That's not hard to do. He's at your mercy, and you just and he's like, as blood just pours down into the shirt. Edler's like standing there. Gerald are staring there. Whoever else is in the room just saw this.
I think Noel probably would have run down there, but have just been too late to even do anything. It all happened.
I think Lauren's going, fuck, I have to go.
Okay, what's the plan? What do we do? Like we just move them, right? Like we get them.
Yeah, we have to move them. They have to go. I have to go there because I don't know how soon they could get someone there. And Lauren's like leaving the dungeon.
Do you need any? Is there any way I can help? Is there any way I can get you there faster or something?
I think I can fly there really fast. I could definitely get there before any of the cultists should be able to. I think.
I mean, and there's no way they have cultists at Wimborne Beach, right? I mean, what's the closest town? Helmfirth?
Yeah.
That's like, what, a day away?
I think so.
Okay. We could probably beat them.
I feel like Lauren's just like in a panic. She's like, I don't know. I have to go there. I have to go there.
What are you going to
okay.
do when you get
we
there?
go?
I'll figure it out. I can figure it out. I just.
We have ways to talk to the party, right? Like you
I have
you guys have
some
stones?
sending stones.
Okay,
She did take the sending stone from that guy.
sure. I guess,
Wait, let me see something real quick. And she's just gonna pull out her scrying thing and she's gonna try to scry on Lasharog right after this happened.
sure.
'Cause I feel like the news probably would have reached him by now.
What is your spell save DC?
I think it's not super high, unfortunately. 17.
Okay, he rolled a dirty 20.
Okay.
But that is just against the raw thing. What is your scrying bonuses? You have met them, so plus 0. Do you have any other connections to Lasharog right now? Likeness or picture, possession, garment, body part?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless something from Varus was his. I do have the golden idol of the Leviathan from the shipwreck. Does that count?
That would count as a possession. So -4 down to a 16.
Yeah. Does that work? That's his golden idol?
It was his ship.
Oh, fuck yeah. I feel like next time she dreams and she's like, I got your idol. I got your idol.
Fucking dick.
I have something of yours. Fuck you.
I think you would. Let me see here. You would see Lasharog standing on a beach, a different beach from last time. This one's rocky. There's like these large hills in the background. It's the sun is setting. It's growing dark. And he is standing outside of what appears to be like a glowing rectangular doorway, just like hanging in the air, probably like 10 feet away from him. And you can see the silhouette of a couple of figures standing in it, like watching. He has a sending stone in his hand, and he is mid-conversation. You would step in right as he's saying, Gents and Firth would be able to reach Wormbone Beach within a day.
Get horses and ride hard through the night. I want them in custody as soon as possible. Go. And as he puts the sending stone back into a pouch, a very heavy-looking pouch of what appears to be many sending stones in his pocket, you see this very self-satisfied smile on his face as he turns towards the doorway and steps through it, and you see an ethereal sort of like wooden, like heavy oak door closing, cutting off the light. And as soon as that door closes in the frame, it vanishes from sight. And you are just left on the beach.
So he's just gone.
Yeah, he just stepped out of view.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Lauren is gonna drop that in a panic, going, "I gotta go now." She is like, "Holy shit!"
Book it.
They're gonna be there in a day, and she is running out of the Presidium.
Okay.
Oh, Lord, what just happened?
I only got bits and pieces. I think our family's in danger.
Burberry's gonna whisper,
Lauren, where are you going? Can help? Is this a help thing?
I don't know. Lauren's pretty like not listening to a lot
this is
right
a
now.
whisper. Like this is a
Like a message.
Yeah.
I
You're
feel like
fast, girl.
yeah, she's like, the beach, my mom. I have to go there now. Oh.
Is it
she's
faster
like,
to teleport?
she's a bird
Oh
already.
yeah, Alexi's
probably.
here.
That's true.
Alexi!
What?
Have you
What's
ever
going on?
teleported to Wormbone Beach?
Yes, I did. Why? I'm revisiting Lauren's parents.
If you don't come back, we'll beat you there.
I would try to message Lauren if she's still in range.
I feel like a Lauren would be like paused, like just flying in the air, like, oh my god.
like doing like a big loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Like
got
waiting.
fucking seconds. Lauren, Alexi's here. He says he can teleport you there. Now. I assume. I'm gonna assume that. I'm making that call for him.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I keep that one ready just in case. That's a good one to have prepared at all times.
Lauren will like
emergencies.
fly down super speed, like fucking dive.
She just fucking picks up Alexi.
Does like let me do an acrobatics because I feel like she gonna do some fancy shit. She gonna like roll roll into it
sure.
and stand and run towards him and be like, teleport me now. Please.
Us, if possible.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, do you really want to roll acrobatics for this? Because you can. I'm not going to stop you, but we can continue as well.
It fell out 1 second. Okay, 12 plus something. 14.
Sure. It's not the most graceful. You're kind of like, turning back into yourself, kind of trying to get your feet back under you before you come to a stop in front of Alexi. But yeah, very passionate in treatment, and I think that Alexi would say, well, whoever's coming, all 7, I think it is, with teleport. 8 people, whoever of the 8 people that want to come. So the whole party,
Adlar.
Adlar, so that's 7. Yeah, I guess you guys are going.
Yeah, I mean, we don't hardly have an incentive not to.
Yeah. So let's get a percentile dice. How badly does Lexi whiff?
Always a great way to start a sentence.
Yeah.
He is on target. You're good.
Perfect.
And within seconds, you all feel yourselves being pulled into a single central point amidst your party. Your body's warping and contorting, compressing into a singularity, and then very rapidly re-expanding out. Just as you had been standing seconds before, now on a unfamiliar beach to most of you, familiar one to Aloran, surrounded by maybe 6 wooden shacks and a small singular dock with a couple of dinghies moored nearby. And on the hill behind them, you can see what looks like a large, partially unearthed, like serpentine kind of skeleton, just kind of draped over the rocks. You are at Warmbone Beach. It is nightfall, and it is quiet and chill. And I think we will pick up here next time, because it is past midnight. So, good game, guys.
Good game.
Good game. Can we get an MVP nominee for the session?
I was going to say Noel.
I was going to say Noel for that nat 20.
Mm-hmm.
I will vote for Aloran, but I appreciate that.
It's between Noel and Burberry for me, because
You're so proud of that nat 20. I'd vote for myself if I could, but I can't, so I'll vote for Noel. And I don't blame you.
I like getting to be clutch every once in a while.
It was such a clutch fucking roll. That was perfect timing for that 20.
Well, thank you. If anyone doesn't have inspiration, I can hand one out.
I need it.
Take it, Burberry. I just got
Thank
3 points,
you.
so I'm good to go.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that would give it to Noelle then. Everyone else will get the 1 point. Noelle will get her 2. And that will be the session. First session of level 11.
And session 100.
Woo!
So
We did it.
Only 100 more to go.